Hey, y'all. Hey, 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 hey. Thank you guys for being so patiently waiting on your girl. Um, I got to get his information to y'all. So there was another witness that came on who actually had to leave early. So they did a little bit out of turn. They went out of turn for the government witness. But what did happen was, um, after the government witness, because she was kind of quick. She was a friend of an ex girlfriend of R. Kelly by the name of Stephanie, and so and you guys gonna have to ride with me until I get to the room, and then I'll be able to just run down these notes or whatever. But I just want to make sure I'm giving it to you guys verbatim and not just putting my own little spin on it or whatever. So but yeah, the lady came in and she testified on behalf of what she knew about her friend. Her friend introduced her to R. Kelly because she was trying to sing for him, basically audition for him. So she met him up at the studio. She did an audition for him. He told her, it wasn't the type of music he was interested in because she does musical, and he's an R&B star. So this is definitely what gonna go hand in hand with what he was trying to do. And so it went from that over to finishing up with her on Cross. CANNICK got her. And then they went back to Haley. Haley is gonna have to come back tomorrow because they was not able to finish her cross today. But again, I'm gonna spend a lot of time with you guys and make sure that you guys get all this information from me. Um, and so, yeah, it's a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. Let me see. I got so many notes, you guys. This book is damn near done. Like, I'm almost done with this book. This is a 5 subject book, a 5-star subject book. And so I think I got I have 1.5 subjects left. So that means I'm going to need more books, you guys, more books. So I'm gonna do like Coming to America did. Send me Jaffe, and so I can get me some of these notebooks, okay? Because it is really, really serious right now in the courtroom. Oh my God. So before we broke for lunch, Haley did wait. Haley, did she go on before? Yeah, Haley went on. And then of course we went to no. Yeah. And then we went to lunch. And then when we came back, um that no yeah that when we came back, that's when the other witness came in that spoke what she knew about the relationship between R. Kelly and Stephanie. And then shortly after that, she was done because she had to leave early. And then Haley came back, and then the prosecutors was done with their witness. And then it became it became what's her name? Wait. It's telling me to. Oh my gosh, do I go this way? Okay. Then it became mechanic time. And when I tell you, mechanic is not playing with these people. My thing is, the government is so pressed upon getting a conviction that they're bringing all these ex-girlfriends in of R. Kelly, and trying to get them to turn their story around and make it appear as if it's more to the story than what it is. And in all actuality, these are all willing participants. As I sit in a courtroom and I'm sitting next to a beautiful artist, and we're having a discussion or whatever, and she's voicing her opinion, I'm voicing mine. And she said literally, I'm tired of hearing about R. Kelly's dick. I'm like, my goodness, when are they gonna stop talking about the man's dick and start talking about their man act that they're charging this man with, this trafficking stuff that they're charging him with, or this enterprise, aka Rico? So again, even this person sitting next to me feels that there's no other enterprise members, and it's just him on trial, and it's kind of strange. But anyway, there's an insider reporter that's in the courtroom who's actually going to sleep in the courtroom. So I want to make sure I put that out there. Insider, you have a court reporter that's inside the court, and she is falling asleep. She's bored with the testimony. It looks like she doesn't really want to be there. She's tired as all out ever. And I just want to put that out there since they wanted to say that it was a birthday, a person's birthday who fell asleep in the court or whatever. So I want to make sure I do my diligence in reporting that there's an insider and they're from the insider and they fell asleep in the courtroom. Okay, I just had to say that or whatever. But anyway, I'm almost to my location, and I'm gonna go over these notes with you guys, but let me see what I could do, because I be multitasking and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And everybody want to get in on this story. You know what I'm saying? We got people that ain't really been around or whatever, but they claim they have been, and they just trying to, compete where they don't compare. But hey, to each his own. I ain't here to start no trouble, and I definitely don't want to get in nothing because Lord knows I have no chill button. So we just go keep it at that. But the government called a witness, and her name was did I tell you guys about Anna already? Okay, so Anna is Haley Calhoun. They're calling her Anna. So Anna is a.k.a. Haley Calhoun. Then there was someone who came on, like I said, at the break. Let's see, what was her name? I believe her name was Catherine Lee. Okay, so Catherine Lee came on because it doesn't make sense to really give you Haley's testimony without giving you the quicker testimony. Because when I run through this, I want to give it to you all the way through and direct. I know when I left off at a certain point, so I'm going to go back to that point and then bring you forward. It's a lot of stuff happening, you guys, and shout out to everybody for your donations, whether they were small, medium, or not. It's highly appreciated, again, because one thing about me, I never ever ask for any type of donations. I never really wanted to ask for donations, but this is a job. I am out here on the job. I am grinding to be in this courtroom to get this information to bring back to you guys. So I'm not going to say it any further. You guys know what you can do and what you can't do. There's no pressure or anything, but Lord knows all is well, is appreciated. I just want to say, make sure I say that. And again, thank you to everybody in advance who is doing what they can to keep me here in New York so I can be here for the duration and get all this information. Does it make sense to keep going back and forth to Chicago, to satisfy my daddy? Because yes, I call him daddy, and if the feds want to charge him for me calling him daddy, then don't do it. Nah. But man, it's heavy in the courtroom right now. It's real heavy. So I want to go back to the first witness that I was discussing with you guys this morning, and then we'll get into Haley after I give you guys the testimony of the other witness that we was discussing first. Okay, my goodness. Oh Lord, you got to be careful who you dating in this world, because I'm telling you, these people is got an axe to grind. This is a lot of bitter relationships gone bad. People kind of just got jealous of each other, couldn't really deal with this lifestyle that they chose because it was a choice. Nobody forced anybody to be in this promiscuous relationship. Everybody wanted to be in it because it was a lot of benefits in this relationship dealing with R. Kelly. I mean, so if y'all looking for somebody with some money, make sure that you know what I'm saying. I don't know how to say it, but Lord have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Because again, it's heavy out here. I ain't gonna lie, it's real heavy. So let me just get here because I'm almost here, y'all. I'm literally about 4 minutes away, and then I really will be able to just, I ate already, so y'all don't have to worry about me not eating, because I ate. So thank you guys for everything. I do highly appreciate it. I'm just trying to get these notes. Ooh, legal action, yes, 2004. Oh Lord, I'm talking about this stuff is crazy. Okay, we was talking about the first witness who was claimed that she was being raped by R. Kelly. Okay, because she basically came in there and said she was raped, and directly said it without saying it. Okay, because what she did was she said, she woke up out of her sleep or whatever, and he was putting his pants on, and then she was like, "Hi, Mr. Kelly." So we're gonna get into all of that. Let's see what else we got going on over here. Okay, was a child born at the yes? Okay, so the family watched her baby. This is where we were at. Okay. They asked her, did she tell her boss? Her boss was deceased. She testified. About the flight information. It was pretty late. She missed her flight. They got her another flight, and they asked her who did she reach out to when she made it to Chicago. She said she reached out to the guy who arranged for her her flight information, and then she talked about she had to catch a taxi cab because the driver services that was gonna pick her up was done for the day, and it was so late at night when she got in that the services wasn't even available to her anyway. So they told her to go ahead and take a taxi to the chocolate factory, and then she stopped along the way to get to the chocolate factory. She stopped somewhere, did a bird bath. That's what I'm calling it, a bird bath, because she washed the ass real fast, and then she ended up getting her hygienes and stuff all together, being on that plane sweating and stinking and whatever. I don't know how long she was on the flight, but she was sweating and funky. And so she went and refreshed up at the gas station. Then she talked about how horrifying the gas station was. It was so unsafe at that gas station. And then they had her to describe, the chocolate factory, and she talked about the barbed wire fence. She talked about, she couldn't, hold on, she couldn't walk. Okay, they asked her, did she notice anything about the building? She said yes, and then she described it when she walked in at the door. Hold on, y'all, because see, I'll be driving and talking and talking and driving. About to be at a red light for y'all that want to see. About to be at a red light, so I'll be able to do a red light stop and talk, y'all. And we're going to get this content. We're going to get it out here because, again, you guys really want to know what's going on, and I want to make sure I bring it to you guys, and I'm bringing my best with it, along with some funnies, because I got jokes along the way when these people get caught up in dumb stuff. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. I missed my turn, but it's okay. My godmother's in the building. Shout out to my godmother, Big Mama. She is the best of them all. Her, Auntie Drea, and everybody else. Because, like I said, you guys are is phenomenal fans, supporters of Robert Sylvester Kelly. I'm one myself, and so with that being said, I'm here to bring it. Okay. She talked about when you walked in, there was a barbed wire fence and then one door you could walk through. They said, did you get into the building? She said yes. And then they said, what happened after that? She said she walked in, and then at the door she was greeted by the same guy who made her arrangements for her. And then and he was directly in the front. And then they asked her about she said he said something that was really crazy to her, and he was like and then she was like, first of all, he said, do you need protection? Okay, I know I said this before, but I'm just going to reiterate it a little bit just to go back to go forward, because now we're going to be caught all the way up. And then she said she didn't understand his questions, and so she said she thought that he was talking about her experience at the gas station, which I find very strange, but that's what she said. Okay, I don't want to miss this next turn because I'm just talking and not looking at my GPS is telling me to make that turn. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, we good now. Okay. There we go. All right. So yeah, she said she thought he was talking about the experience at the gas station, and then she said that wasn't the type of uh response that he was looking for. And so they said, well, did you know what he had meant? And he was like, do you need a condom? And she was like, no, I'm not here for that. Which is kind of crazy to say that. It didn't make sense, but to me, and this is just my personal opinion, a lot of this stuff, it sounds like allegedly the government is putting this information into these witnesses state of mind to get them to believe that these narratives that are being painted against Mr. Kelly is going into hand in hand to what they have already put out here to the public. But clearly, if you're in this courtroom, you're going to see that what they're doing is just they're sore losers, okay? And that's my personal opinion. This does not reflect the facts of the case and the information that is going to come out here on this platform as I am reading from my notes as I am live in the courtroom, getting this information verbatim, okay? Again, so she was like, no, I'm not here for that. And then after someone took her luggage, she said, so one of the people took her luggage, and then they took her into the room, and then they asked her to kind of describe where she went, and she said she walked down. She walked. They took her luggage into the room. She walked down to the left, and then she said she was on the same floor as the receptionist because they asked her which floor she was on. She said she was on the same floor as the receptionist. And then they asked her for her identification card. They asked her to give them the last five numbers that was in the cell phone, and then they had her to sign a NDA agreement, okay? And then they asked her who was all in the room. She said there was two people in the room, and then she said I did. They asked her, did she sign the non-disclosure agreement? She said she did. She signed it, and then she went on to say, okay, so what did they do after that? She said they went and made a copy of it, and then they asked her, well, how do you know they made a copy of it? She said, well, I could hear it. I could hear the copy away from the door. Y'all know y'all gonna get them reactions, right? I'm just saying. She heard this from the door. Okay, so then she said, what happened next? She said, well, I gave them my phone. He wrote down the numbers. He asked me who the numbers were, and their addresses to the people who numbers that they took. And then she said, well, I told him, it was my aunt, my grandmother, Jerry, and Charity, which is a friend of hers, and Jerry was a former friend. They're no longer friends, sounds like. And then another, he was a guy through. Okay, so then the guy that took her luggage, okay, said she did not give him permission to take her luggage. Hold on, y'all gotta make this turn. She said she did not give him permission to take her luggage. Hold on. Oh, we got 420. You know what that means? Somebody need to fire up a joint because it's 420. Hold on. Okay. She said she did not get. They asked her, "Did you give this person permission to take your luggage?" She said, "No, she did not." And then she went on to say, "Okay, so they asked her, so did you read the NDA before you signed it?" And then she said, the room was kind of dim with the lights, and it was really dim lights, and she could barely read what she was signing, but she did sign it. And then they asked her, did they give you a copy of it? And then she said, no, they did not give her a copy of it. Now, just remember what I'm telling you when I say that she said they asked her, did you read what you signed? She said she couldn't read it because the lights were dim, right? But then when mechanic gets to her, she's all of a sudden she could read the menu. How could you read the menu if the lights are dim? And at that point, she said, well, the TV was on, so she used the light from the TV, which is baloney to me, if you ask me. But hey, I'm just saying. And then she said they went through the list of rules. They went through they asked her, was there anything that they did? And she said, yeah, they went through a list of rules, what she could and couldn't do. She couldn't look up or talk to nobody there. There was a list of rules to abide by. Hold on. To be there, she's a list to abide by for her to be there is what she said. Oh, I guess I can go this way. That's probably what I did wrong yesterday. Okay. um I said, okay, so she said she went. There was some rules that she needed to abide by for her to be there. And she said she couldn't leave the room. Mr. Kelly, they told her Mr. Kelly should be in here shortly, and then they left. They asked her, did both of the people leave? She said, yeah, both left, and then they closed the door behind them. And then she said a few minutes later, she went. She said a few minutes later, she went to, I guess, try to open up the door, and the door was locked. And she said that it was locked from the outside because she couldn't get out from the inside. Then she went on to say, they asked her, why certain stuff was happening. She said she was scared, ashamed, embarrassed. I couldn't even text you. I turned to the left. Hold on. I don't want to take y'all down the wrong road. Hold on. They was asking her to describe the inside of this studio. Okay, so as she started describing the inside of the studio, hold on. Okay, now I'm on the right road and I'm literally a few blocks away. Okay, I had missed my turn, y'all. My bad. Um, and so then she started describing. She said, "Well, I would turn to the left." She said she sat on the couch and then she was thinking maybe they didn't mean to lock me in the door. Maybe it's being hold on. She said I tried. She said she tried other times, and hold on. I don't want to hit nobody. I don't want to hit nobody, y'all. Then we're gonna have a real serious situation on our hands. And then she said there was some noise, and then there was a conclusion. She just couldn't unlock the door. That's what she ended up coming to her conclusion. She just couldn't unlock the door. And then they asked her to describe the room. She said there was a coffee table, there was a TV, there were two chairs in there, and a whole bunch of and then ceiling fans with something dangling. She said it was like kind of like a beam that was holding up the fan. And then she said she didn't know what to call it. So just high ceilings is what her exact words was, just high ceilings. And then she went on to say, okay, so you mentioned there was a to-go menu. And she said, yes, from restaurants. Okay, restaurants, not just one, but plural, restaurants. Okay. Then she said, when you arrived, it was evening, correct? And she said, yes, that's correct. What did you do? She said, what did you do while you was, there or whatever? And she said, I was reading the menus. Now, how the hell you reading the menus in the dim light that's kind of like candle lights, but you can't read this NDA because the lights are too dim for her to read this for her to read it, okay? Which again, y'all make y'all own opinion. I don't want to give y'all too much. I want y'all to hear y'all opinion in the chat. Okay. Now, she said, so there was a coffee table, there was two chairs, there was a book with the to-go menu and a whole bunch of ceiling fans on it with dangling. Da, 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 da. She said, you mentioned there was a to-go menu. Yes. She said, what was the to-go menus from? She said, from restaurants. Okay, so when you arrived, it was evening, correct? Correct. What did you do? She said, I read the to-go menus and I talked to my grandparents. And then she said they asked her, what did you try to do to get out the room? She said, I banged on the doors. Now, what sense does this make? You got your phone, you talking to your grandparents. Now, one time did you try to call the police and say, hey, I can't get out of this room, I'm locked in this room? So again, her story is not adding up, and it's looking a lot like the government allegedly, again, and this is my personal opinion, has put this information in these people's head and got these people oh, I love shopping, y'all, but I ain't gonna be able to do it. And so, so she was like, they put this information in these people's heads so they can kind of go with the narrative that the government is painting, but can't hold it together on cross. Okay. Now she said, I talked to my grandparents and then I banged on the door. She said they asked her, how many times did you try to reach out? She said many. She said many of her calls went out to her friend Charity. There was calling. Hold on. She said she called to the receptionist, the receptionist desk. She said they said, well, what else did you do? She said she knocked and she banged on the door. She said I asked to be let out, and whatever I could do, I did it. This is what she said. Whatever she could do to get out is what she did. Okay, y'all form y'all own opinions. I'm just gonna give it to you how it was said in the court. Now, is this my turn? Yeah, it's my turn. I'm almost here, y'all. I am here. Okay, 2 blocks up and I'm here. All right. Okay, I know where I'm at now. All right. And then so she was like, they asked her, was there a phone in the room? She said, yeah, there was a phone in the room. And then she said that you can dial out on it. It allowed me to contact my friends. Almost like she was trying to say that they programmed numbers in the phone that was in the room for her to be able to only reach out to her friends and people that was in the contact that she allegedly gave to these people, which again doesn't add up, don't make sense. And you know what they say, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And it's not making no dollars because it ain't making no sense. Okay, and that's my personal opinion again. Now, oh my God, this might take my park. I don't know how much of this I can park right here, but I am here. Hold on, y'all. Let me get off camera for 2 seconds. Hold on, I'm here. Let me end the route. Let me park right here. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let me back it up. I am here, y'all. Now y'all really gonna get all my undivided attention because I ate, I'm full, and I ain't got nothing else to do but talk to all of y'all and give y'all all this court information, okay? So again, thank you guys for your patience. I highly appreciate you, each and every one of you guys, for coming over here to Pieces of the Puzzle, where we put together pieces of the puzzle, one piece at a time, and I have more pieces for you guys, okay? So let me continue on with the reading of this information. Give me almost parts. Want to make sure I leave enough room for this fire hydrant. I don't want to talk about I blocked it in. None of that. Okay, I think that's as far as I can go. Boom. Now turn this off. Grab my notes. Grab my to this car. Uh, Take my seatbelt off and give me step by step. I kid you not. Let me grab my food. Definitely gotta grab my blankie. Okay. And then notes. I want to be ready, so when I get out, I already got my room key ready and everything. I don't want to be looking for stuff. I just want to give it to you guys raw and uncut. Okay, grab this. Room key should be, where did I put you at? Let's see. Uh, okay, credit card, credit card. I'd rather do it now than do it later. Get out of here and can't find my key. Stumbling and stuff. I got the key in my hand, y'all. Key in my hand. Let me put this here. Grab this. Oh, so much has come out. So they talked about Lily and Haley Calhoun's testimony. They talked about Lily, so I'm going to tell you guys everything that was discussed about her. It wasn't bad or anything, but she definitely came up, as well as R. Kelly's stylist came up. Okay, so they talked about Lily and Haley Calhoun's testimony. It wasn't bad. They also talked about R. Kelly stylist as well, and that wasn't bad either. But just want to let you guys know those were some of the names that came up in these testimonies today. Now, get in the elevator, and I'm feet away from my room. Damn, somebody just came up on a better part. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Before to the bathroom, and they brought her food. Oh, and she took a shower there. So it couldn't have been all that bad, y'all. It couldn't have been that bad. Every time their mouths open, a live fly open. Yes, it sure does. Like these people can't get it together, y'all. All right, so I am here. Get in this room. Whew, I am here. Okay. Let me get that there. All right, now let me sit down and get this undivided attention to y'all. Y'all, it's getting serious. Ooh. Okay, let me take this off of me. Hold on. Oh my God, I got so much stuff in this room. Let me get back on camera, y'all. Got a lot of stuff going on, y'all. A lot of stuff going on. All right, now. Oh, let me grab my notes. Hold on. Let me grab my notes. Let me grab my notes. Can't do it without the notes, y'all. Can't do it without the notebook. All right. Now. Okay, where was I at? Okay, so then they said, okay, so then they was like, let me go back. I was on this page. Okay, so she said she called her friend Charity many times, okay? And then they talked about she called the receptionist desk, and then they said, well, what else did you do? She said she knocked and she banged on the door. She said, I asked to be let out. Whatever I could do, I did it. Okay, that's what she said she was trying to do to get out. Then it went on to they said, was there a phone in the room? She said, yeah, there was a phone in the room. And then she said, but did you dial? She said did they ask her, did she try to call out on that phone? She said, yeah, but it only allowed me to contact my friends. It wouldn't let me call my family. And then she said, the guy knew it was me calling, because they asked her, well, did you call the receptionist? That she said, yeah, but she felt like the guy knew it was her calling. And so the guy wouldn't answer. And then she talked about, they asked her, did you call for food and water? And then she said, yes, she did. And then they asked her, was it the same person? And when you kept calling, she said, no, it was different people. It was different people when she called. Then it went on to say, hold on, let me get out this air, because it's going to make my eyes start running and water going to come out down and stuff. Let me get it together, y'all. Let me get it together. All right, let's give y'all a white wall and nothing but content. All right, here we go. Then she said, then they asked her, okay, they told her what was said, and then she said that so she said, they asked her, okay, so were you able to put your food order in? She said, yeah. And then they said, what happened then? She said, well, they had to get a clearance from Mr. Kelly. Okay, someone would come and get you, or they would have to, run it by Mr. Kelly. And then they asked her, did you try to go to the bathroom? She said, yes, multiple times. Then she said, did you use the bathroom? She said, yes. She said, well, where were you able to use the bathroom? She said, yeah. She said, did anyone, get you to the bathroom? She said, yes, she was escorted to the bathroom. And then they asked her, she said, yes, I was escorted. They asked her who escorted her. She said she was escorted by different people. And then she said, the door open and he stood by. Okay, so then she said that somebody stood outside the door opened and they were standing by. Then she said, she went on to say, okay, so the first ones you walked, okay, they asked her to describe the bathroom that she went to. She said the first ones you will walk out directly to the there was doors on the left, there was doors on the right, there was mirrors. She said, I believe there was a sink and a toilet in that bathroom. Then they asked her to describe the other bathroom. She said the other bathroom was upstairs. It was tiny staircase where the other bathroom was. She said that one had a shower in it, and she said, but it did not have a bathtub. Then they said, okay, so did you use the shower? She said, yeah. She said, was you escorted? She said, no. She said, when you used the bathroom, was you escorted from? And she said, yes, back to my original room where she was, being at. Then she said, okay, so sound like people. And then she said, they asked her, what did you hear, if anything? She said, it sounded like people was having sex. Okay. Then she said, while I was in the room, no, she said, while you were in the room, you asked for food. And she said, yes. They said, did someone bring you some food? She said, yeah. They said, when? She said, a couple of days. She went without food. And then she said, they asked her, like, who got the food. She said, well, he went to get it, and he had to get it approved by Mr. Kelly. Then he went to get the food approved by Mr. Kelly. There was no drinks. They asked her, did you have anything to drink? She said, no. They said, how long you went without drinking? She said, a couple of days. So now she ain't had no food for a couple of days or no drinks. Mind you, this is a visitor whom wants to interview with R. Kelly. She wanted an interview by R. Kelly. Okay. Then said for a couple of days after that, they asked her, like, how long. She was like, it felt like, it seemed after hours, it seemed like it was forever. Okay, I know I said this to you guys earlier in my first live, but I'm just reiterating again. Then she went on to say, they asked her, well, did you ever get your food? She said, yeah. What did they bring? She said, they brought me Chinese food and a drink. And she said, did they bring you drinks? She said, yeah. And then they asked her, how did it come? She was like, it was in a bag. The food came in a bag. She said, I want to say it was also on a green tray. Then they asked her, well, how did the drink come? She said, the drink came in a cup. She was like, they said, what kind of drink was it? She said, it was some type of soda. But she did not remember. She said, no, it was not in a bottle. Then they said, well, how much did you eat? And she said she took a couple of bites and a couple of sips of the drink. Then she said she got extremely full right after taking a couple of bites and a couple of drinks. She got extremely full and was tired. She said, then they asked her what happened next. She said, I felt something come on And I was just done eating. She said she didn't remember how I got from the table to the couch. She didn't remember how she got from the table to the couch. She said, then they asked her what happened, what she remember what happening next. She said she woke up to some to some commotion. She said she didn't know where, but where she was at for the most part. She said they asked her, well, what did you remember then? She said, well, I saw R. Kelly pulling up his clothes for the most part. There was some white stuff between my legs, between my thighs, and then they asked her something else pertaining that. She said she didn't recall falling asleep. They asked her, did you remember going to sleep? She said she didn't recall falling asleep. And then she said her underwear was on the arm of the couch because they asked her, was anything removed from her? She said, yeah, her underwear was on the arm of the couch. Then they asked her, what did she have on? She said she had on her nightgown. Okay. And then she said, they asked her, well, do you remember, removing your nightgown? She said she did not remove. She said she did not remove her underwear. And then she said there was wetness in her vaginal area. And then she said R. Kelly was in the corner. And then they said, well, what happened next? She said, well, no, they said, what did you remember? She said, how did that they asked her, how did that make her feel? And she said, it felt like something happened. It felt like something been inside of me, was her exact words. Then she said, I believe I was touched sexually. And then she said, they asked her, was anyone else in the room with you? She said, no one else was in the room. And then she said, then they said, well, at any point, did you consent? And she said, no, I did not. Absolutely not. Then they said, okay, do you recall about your underwear? She said, after her, what did you remember after your underwear? She said, after her underwear, she said, after seeing R. Kelly, they asked her, did she get up? She said, yeah. They said, what did you do next? She said, I said, hey, how are you? She said, they said, how did you feel at this moment? She said, I felt a little embarrassed. And then they said, well, then she said, they asked her again, what did you say or do when you saw Mr. Kelly in the room? She said, I said, hey, how are you? And then she was like, then I guess she said he pulled her close to her, and then he grabbed her butt and she said he pulled me close to him and he grabbed my butt. And then he said, he'll be back shortly. And they asked her, did she see Mr. Kelly again? She said she did not see him again. And then they asked her, on that trip, did you see him again? She said, no, I did not. Then they said, did you see him again? They asked her again. She said no. And then she said, what happened next? She said, a little while, the guy came in the room. He said he apologized that Mr. Kelly had some things to take care of. He had her to sign another non-disclosure agreement. And then she said he said, you don't want to mess with Mr. Kelly. And then she said, I could feel, they asked her, did she tell anyone? She said, I could. No, they told her she couldn't tell anyone after signing that non-disclosure agreement. She couldn't tell her grandparents. She couldn't tell her friends. She was not to tell no one. And then he said to her, he said, don't fuck with Mr. Kelly. Okay. He said then they asked her, how did that make her feel? She said she felt like he was threatening her. He had my address. He had my daughter's information. He had my family's information. And then they asked her, uh I was a wait, she said she was, they asked her, why did she why did she feel the way she felt? She said, well, she was a single parent. Though they asked her, did she take flight after that? And she said she didn't have any, not to her knowledge. And then she said, they asked her, well, why did you feel the way you felt? She said, well, I was a single parent and I couldn't afford to get home. And then she said, well, um you took what they said to heart. And then she said, I did. Said, okay, so it was 3 to 4 days later. Did you get a return? And then she said, no, I did not. And then she said, after she left to fly home, did you get home? She said, I did. He said, what did you find there when you got home. And she said she found a watch in her luggage. They asked her, did you know how it got there? She said she did not know how that watch got in her luggage. And then she said they asked her about her telephone bill, and she said her telephone bill was somewhere between $600 and $900. They asked her, did she know why her bill was so high? She said because where she was at, there was no real good signal, and so she believed her phone was roaming, and the charges ran up because of the roaming. She said because there was no windows for her to, to make any outgoing calls, and so it was just roaming. And they asked her, who did she talk to? She said just the people I was talking to. They asked her, did she tell anyone about what occurred? She said just the people who she was talking to who knew she was there. And then they asked her, okay, so before today, did you ever speak publicly about this incident? And she said no, never. Okay, now after that, the prosecutors they rest their case, and then they turn it over to CANNICK. Then CANNICK asked her, "How old are you?" She said she was 39. He said, "So according to you, these things happened when you were 21 years old." And she said, "Yeah." He said, "And I see Mrs. Gloria Allredge in here. When did you retain her?" She said, "I don't know." He said, "Was it after surviving R. Kelly?" She was like, "Yes." He said, "After these things you said happened to you, when did you first make a report?" She was like, "Can you repeat that?" He said, a couple of questions ago, after surviving R. Kelly, after Gloria Allredge was retained, after these things happened, about 2 years ago, you hired Miss Gloria Allredge. Was there? Did you make a police report? She said, "I never made a police report." He said, "So the first time you sent hold on, the first time you sat and talked to the government, yes, after surviving R. Kelly aired, according to you, did you go to the hospital?" "No, I did not." Was there a rape kit done? "No, there was not." Okay, you testified that after you was placed in this room, that you called and you used the phone as much as you could. After you ran, uh, after wait, you could use the phone as much as you could. She said, "Yeah," and then he was like, then she said, "Can you repeat that?" And he said, "After you was asked if you need a condom, after your ID was taken, uh." You testified in that room, you called and you used your phone as much as you could. And she said, "No, they took it while I was in the room. They took down my names, my contact information, my child's name." He said, "So after you made it in the room," and then he said, "I'm not asking you that. Who told you you made a call?" "Yes, I did." "At some point, you felt locked in this room?" "Yes, I was." "You were in contact with Charity, your grandparents? Did you call 911?" "I did not." So the first day, hold on. The first day after you were allegedly raped, you did not call 911? You told your family?" She said, "I did not. And I didn't tell my family. You first mentioned that a few years ago. In fact, this is a photograph that you held on to since 2001 until now." And then she corrected them. She was like 2003. That's what it says. "According to you, this is a picture of your rapist. You held on to it." She said, "I did." "You didn't tell your family about it?" No, not what had happened to me. When you went to Chicago, did you have a return ticket so you knew if it was a one way?" "I didn't pay that much attention to it." Okay, I'm not gonna stop. Let me just go in. You didn't know if it was a one-way ticket or a round trip ticket. And then you said that they left the door open. "Yes, they did." She said, "Where would I go?" You went without a return ticket. "Did you call 911 and say, did you do any of these things?" She said, "I did not." But you were stuck with hold on, you were stuck with a round trip ticket. You testified you got a non-disclosure agreement. Uh, you couldn't read. Wait. You couldn't read because it was dark, but but you could read the menu. She said it was a TV on. It was a TV here when you read the NDA. She said um it was over there to the bottom. It wasn't on. I didn't know. She was twisting herself up. She said, I didn't know what I was doing in this room. Okay, so to separate, wait, on two separate times, you were asked to sign an NDA. Now, you were asked to sign an NDA. She said, I didn't read. The TV was off. I already signed the first one. Then they said, so you signed it when was the door open? Was it the second one in the room? They was asking her, did you sign the NDA? What, and when you were in the room when you signed the second NDA? She said a guy brought it in and had me sign it. He didn't close the door. So you testify you went to do the you went to the internet. Yes. No. Said. Wait. No, that you was going to. Okay, so you told your boss that you was going to do an interview. She said yes. Then he said so. You said that you was going to. You actually said that you was going to watch R. Kelly do a photo shoot. She said no. Okay. Okay, so you said you missed your flight. Yes. He put me on another flight. The car service wasn't running late. So they told me to take a taxi to the chocolate factory. They said, did you change your clothes? She said, yeah, for feminine hygiene purposes. The taxi did stop. You changed and wait, you stopped and you changed before you got to the chocolate factory? Yes. Where you wait, when you got there, someone asked you for your ID, took a picture? Yes. Bank card? Yes. You saw it? She said they took it. I heard it. She didn't see it, but she said they took it and she heard it. So she doesn't know if they didn't. This is her assumption that they did. And then she said they took it and I heard it. Then she said, where were you at? She said, I was in the room when they took my ID. Did you hold on. They said, did you tell your boss that what you was going to do? She said, yes. He said, did your boss provide you any type of resources? Did he give you hold on. Wait. You testified by being in the room. You interviewed. Oh wait, you mentioned eventually you got food. Yes, you were there for 2.5 days. No water, nothing to drink, only a couple of bites and a couple of sips. You weren't there. Wait, you wasn't there. But wait. You wasn't there, but you only okay. You was hungry, but you only took a couple of bites. Was it MSG in the food? Mechanic is so silly. I don't know. I asked you a short while ago. Um, just a second, please. They had made them do a sidebar. So just a second, please. Now, isn't it a fact after you placed the call to Mr. Kelly? No. Wait. You made a call to him. Oh yeah. Isn't it a fact that after you placed a call to Mr. Kelly that he did not agree to do an interview? He didn't agree to do it on the phone. He refused to come up to the Utah station. You do read. Wait. Speak to you about the case. You testified you could. Okay, you testified that he couldn't come to the station. He wasn't going to do a interview over the phone. In fact, you left a message. And then they had to do something else. They like, I'm trying to object. Said, okay, so the government wrote down, he want to get the government notes. So the government wrote down that you told them that R. Kelly left a message and would not agree to do an interview. Didn't you tell the government that he wouldn't do the interview? Wait. She said, which interview?
the phone you're talking about. And then the judge got involved and was like, why don't you just show her? Why don't you just show her? And then they said then CANNICK said, may I ask the brief question? And then the judge said, let's get a sidebar and bring the reporter. They were stopping this man from doing his job every time he would be onto something. I cannot stand how they is moving in this courtroom. It's dirty, it's dirty, it's dirty. And it's like, who's prosecuting this case? Is the judge prosecuting this case, or is the prosecutors prosecuting this case? Because the looks of it is looking like the judge is prosecuting and the prosecutor is prosecuting, and it's not, to me, a fair trial. And I'm just the outsider looking in. That's my personal opinion. Again, what I personally say does not reflect the facts of the matter of the notes that I am reading to you guys that is coming out of their mouths. Okay, so those are just my personal opinions. Now, let me show you these documents. See if in fact the government just, okay, this is, he said, see in fact if and then the judge stopped him again. She said, just point it out, okay? Show her what you want to show her. I mean, this is like, what's going on here with this judge getting all aggressive and all hostile with the defense, but not doing any hostility towards the prosecutor. Okay, so this is where the judge, he said now he wanted to refresh her memory. So when he came back from the sidebar, he said, so let me show you this documentary, see if in fact and that's where he got stopped. And the judge said, just point it out. Show her what you want to show her. I mean, with a nasty attitude, y'all. Did you tell the government that Mr. Kelly was not in agreeing to doing an interview? And then she said, at the very first conversation, yes. Now, when according to you, being locked in the room and eventually let out, you took a shower in the bathroom. She said, can you repeat that question? After you was let out, did you take a shower? She said, yes. He said, during the time I was there, no, he said, during the time you was there, he allowed, no, she said, this is her response. During the time I was there, he allowed me after I was locked in a couple of days. They said, well, how long, she said, I took a shower the day before I left. Did you get the menu the same day of the shower? She said, I'm not sure. And then he said, did you talk to anyone? She said, family and friends. He said, well, did you have any communications with the father of your child? Were you talking to the father of your child? And then there was a pause. And then he said, so after this information was taken, by what person? And then she was like, what person? Person who took your information. And then she said, that's correct. Did you tell did you tell your child's father that you was locked in a room at least to ease? And she said, no. Did you tell your grandparents, I'm locked up, I'm locked in this room, unease here? No. Did you tell it to Charity or Jerry? No. Did you tell them, if you don't hear from me in a few hours, to call the law enforcement? She said, no. Then he said, did you tell them this person have all this information about your family and the people that they had the information? She said she only told Charity. She said, but never, he said, but you never called law enforcement. And then he said, well, did you look at your return ticket and going home? She said, no, I didn't. He said, well, after Mr. Kelly allegedly raped you, you didn't go back and tear up the picture that you had of you and your rapist? She said, no, I did not. Now, before you went to Chicago, you spoke to your manager and he said, go out there, meet Mr. Kelly, interview him, and do some photo shoots. And she said, he never said take photo shoots. And then CANNICK said, well, let you read this. Let me know when you're done. And then he said, well, why these, wait. Remember, okay, what did you say by okay, so now he said, well, do you remember what you said to the government? And then she said, he said, are you finished? And then she said, yeah. He said, no photo shoot. It is a fact. You told your manager to do a photo shoot. If the government wrote this in their report, that is incorrect. And she said, correct. It's incorrect. If the government put that in their notes, that is definitely incorrect. You was the only person in the room who gave them this information, this account that happened, correct? And she said, yes. He said, well, when you went, how long did you, when you went to this trip, how long did you plan on staying? She said, for a day. But since I missed my flight, I was going to stay another day, but I missed my flight. So he said, well, did you let them know? When did you let them know? She said 5 minutes after she got there, she let them know that she only could stay for a day. He said, well, you wanted to get out, but you didn't call the cops. She said, I feel like we, no, I believe this is the judge. Hold on. She said, I feel like we currently yeah, the judge spoke on this. She said, I feel like we currently established the facts already on this. He said, then he rephrased. He said, did you know where you would stay? And she said, no, she didn't know where she was going to stay when she got to Chicago. He said, well, didn't you ask that question? And she said, no. He said, well, did your manager decide to accommodate you? She said, no. Did he offer to get you a ticket, a cab? Buy your food? Did he give you money? Anything with finances to make your trip successful? And she said no. He said, well, you said the food, hold on, you said the food made you drowsy. What else could it have been? You said you didn't eat in a few days. You said after a few bites, you felt so fatigued that you didn't know how you got from the chair to the sofa. Um, he said it was you. You said wait you was in the room by yourself. Yes, after uh after eating, you was by yourself. Yes, you don't have a recollection. You don't know how you got undressed. She said, correct. You don't know how your underwear came off or what were you where you were uh but you had your nightgown on. You don't know if you took it off. You don't know how your underwear got off. What was the answer? The judge stopped him from answering for her answering the question. The judge said, uh, we needed a sidebar. She doesn't know when she woke up. Mr. Kelly was in the corner. Do you know much uh how much time went by? She said she was asleep. She do not know. Then she said it was in the morning, and then he said, according to you, he was in the corner. You said to him, good morning. She said, no. How you doing? Did he respond? She said, yes. You felt something was wet. You said you don't know what happened. You can't say it was sexual. Is that correct? And then she was like, according to you, you woke up. He was in the room in the corner, but something happened to you. You can't say something happened. Um, is that correct? And then she was like, correct. And then he said, okay, I have no further questions. And then there was on cross on the report. Have you seen this? Then the cross came back. The prosecutors came back and said, have you seen this document before? And she was like, no. She said, did you ever show any? Did you ever see this evidence before? She said no. On cross defense asked if it was if the return ticket, who made your arrangement. She said somebody on R. Kelly's team. You went to the counter. Do you know if you had a return ticket? And then she said she wasn't sure. And they said, well, did the fatigue come on suddenly? And then she said, yes. And then she said, when you hire your attorney, when did you hire your attorney? She said, at some point you signed an NDA. That's correct. Why did you hire? She said, why did you hire an attorney? She said, I wanted to know my rights. I was a victim. I wasn't supposed to tell anyone. And then they said, why did you? And she said, I didn't think anyone would believe me. He had my contact information. and my daughter information. And it was like, don't fuck with Mr. Kelly. Did you take that as a threat? And she said, yeah. Um, why didn't you call? Is that the reason why you didn't call the police? They was just giving her answers. To me, they was very leading. And then she said, is it a fact to say is that's why you didn't reach out to the police? She said, yes. Do you have wait, hold on. Okay, so when you first where you were, okay, when you was asleep, your underwear, is there any doubt in your mind that your underwear was on when you went to sleep? And she said yes. Okay. uh then they said, is there any doubt in your mind there was fluid around your vagina, wetness in the vagina area? You know differently. Wait. You wait. You know your body. She said, I was sexually assaulted. It was something uh uninvited that went inside of me, is what she said. And then the prosecutor rested, and then CANNICK came back. He said, you know your body, right? When you spoke to the government, you knew your body. She said, yeah. You knew when you said you could that you wait, you knew you said you could uh that you couldn't, that you wait. According to you, you know your body then, yes? And she said, yes. And then really, that was his cross. He was done after the second time. He just wanted to know, so you know your body, right? And she said, yes. He said, so you knew your body when you spoke to the government? Yes, yes. Uh, and then you knew, you said that you could tell something that you could not tell something sexually happened to you, correct? And then she said, yeah. She couldn't confirm something happened to her sexually, is what he got her to say, because she didn't have a fact that something happened. She just said she felt like something invited happened to her. So he got her to say, no, she couldn't confirm a fact that something had happened to her because she knows her body. And then that was it. Then the government called Anna, which is a.k.a. Haley Calhoun. Okay. And then they started off with, okay, I'm showing the witness only what's in evidence 76. Do you wait, before I go into Haley, let me look at y'all and give me 2 seconds to get off the camera for 2.2 seconds. Hold on. I got to grab one item, and then we're gonna get into Haiti. Okay, we're gonna do this right. I don't want to rush it. I want to bring it because I want you guys to hear everything um, about what these government witnesses had to say before the cross got to them. Okay, because they saying one thing to the government and another on cross. Okay, I'm back on camera. Here we go. Now, I'm showing you witnesses only in evidence 76. Do you recognize this evidence? She said, without saying your name, is this a photograph of you? And she said, yes. Just as 76A, is this the same? She said, correct. Is that your true name? And then she said, correct. And then they said, okay, so we're going to publish this to the jury only. Now, exhibit 76B. 76 and 76A. Is this correct? She said, yes. Do you see Anna? And then she said, yes. And then they went ahead and to publish it. They asked her where she was from. She said she's from Greenville, South Carolina. They asked her, did she complete school? She said 1 year in college. Yes, I am. Yes. And then they said, they asked her if she knew R. Kelly. She said, yes, she met R. Kelly. Then they gave her exhibit 1. Who is this? Is this Mr. Kelly? She said, yes. And then she said, do you see him in the courtroom? She said, yes. They asked her to describe him. She said he had on a light blue shirt. And then she said, you have met Mr. Kelly previously. When? And she said, back in 2016. They asked her, where did she meet him at? She said she met R. Kelly at a show in South Carolina. And then they asked her the age that she met him. She said around 1920. And then they said where? She said backstage at the show. And then they asked her to explain. She said he saw me walking in and wanted to meet. He wanted to meet her. She said, I believe it was they asked her who approached her and said, Mr. Kelly wants to meet you. And she said, I believe it was Bubba. Mr. Kelly wants to meet you, is what he said to her when he approached her. And then she said she went backstage to his dressing room. Then they asked her what happened. She said, we was talking, after he had performed, we went to a meet and greet. And they asked her who went with her to this meet and greet. She said her and her mama. I really wanted to bring that short witness in, but somehow I think I'm going to go all the way through Haley, and then I'm going to bring the short witness after in the order she should have originally came in. Okay. They said, so what happened? She said, well, we were all talking, we exchanged phone numbers in the dressing room. After we exchanged, she said, did you speak to R. Kelly again? She said, nope, not for several months. So several months had went by for not speaking to R. Kelly. And then they asked her, when did she, finally meet up with him? She said she met up with him in ATL, which is Atlanta, Georgia. And then she said she was there visiting a friend. They asked her, where did she meet him at? She said, at his house. They said, where? She said, in George Creek. And then they said, was there a sexual, relationship? And she said, eventually, yes. And then said, did the relationship, okay, so she said, down the road, the relationships, down the road, there was a sexual relationship down the line. She said, yes. They said, when? She said, no, when did the relationship end? She said, December 2019. And then she was like, I'm sorry, I believe it was December 2018. Said, okay. Then she said, okay, they asked her about the relationship. Said it was cool, we would all go out and have fun. Then they said, she said we would all go out and have fun. We did things. And then they asked her, when did things change? She said, how did things change? She said, well, he started getting some in his controlling ways. And then she said, well, who was controlling? She said, Robert was. So, okay, did you ever travel, with him? She said, yes. And they said, who made those plans? And then she said, she said, wait. She said, where did you guys go? She said, to LA. And they said, how? And then she said, by plane. And they said, who made these arrangements for her? She said, Suzette, a.k.a. Twin. And then she said, they said, okay, so who paid for it? She said, R. Kelly, I believe Rob did. Where did you stay? She said, hotels. They said, who paid? She said, Robert paid. Said, did you ever pay? She said, no, she never paid. Nope, never paid. They said, how did you guys travel? And then she said, sometimes by Sprinter. And then she said, they said, where did you, hold on, where did you guys go? And then she said, we traveled to several different places all over the United States. And then they said, was there any in the East Coast? And she said, yes, New York, Charlotte, Alabama, just to name a few. Then they said, what about the West Coast? She said, yes, Arizona, California. Then they said, okay, hold on. Did you ever live with? Did they actually? Did she ever live with R. Kelly? She said yes. They asked her how soon after getting with him. She said a couple of weeks later. And then they said, well, we're not. Okay, so they asked her where did she stay at when she was with him, and then she said houses, studios, hotels. They said where? She said into Atlanta, and sometimes the Trump Tower. They asked her where that was at. She said in Chicago. They said, well, who lived there? She said Robert did. They said, did you spend time there? And she said sometimes, but not always. She did not always spend time at the Trump or in Chicago. They said, she said not exactly where. They asked her exactly where, and then she said she did not recall the address to the studio or some of the places. And then they said, did you ever see him with the doctor? And then she said, yeah, one time. It said where? And then she said, Oh, they asked her, did she ever go to the doctor? She said yes one time, and they said where and for what, and then she said for sexual transmitted diseases, and they said who went with you, and then she said Diana. And they said who is Diana? She said it's his assistant. Okay, his assistant went with her. They said, do you remember getting your results? And she said, no, she didn't get her results. Diana got her results. Then they said, did Mr. Kelly get your results? And she said she wasn't sure if he did or not. And then they asked her, did she ever see Jane Doe number 5? She said yes. Did you recall seeing Jane Doe? And she said yes. And they said, where were you? Was there any nicknames that you would use towards Mr. Kelly? And then she said yes. And then they asked her, who do you recall seeing at one of his locations? She said Joycelyn, Dominique, V. When I first came around, that was it. Do you recall Juice? And she said, yeah, I recall Juice. And he said, but she only saw her here and there. She said she wouldn't come. She would come to some of the parties. That's where she would see Juice at some of the parties. Well, who was there? She said some friends, other women who cared. She said they asked her who was there and how did he introduce her, and then she said that he told her that they were friends and that these were just some of the women who he cared about. And he said, did you ever discuss the nature of the relationship with these other women who he cared about? Okay. She said, why was they wanted, she said, why was they there? She said they wanted to be there. And then she said, what about Jane? She said Jane, Dominique, Juice, V was more there. And they said yes. Okay, down the line, with were there any interactions? Did you observe any type of sex between those women and Kels? And she said yes. Did you see him with other women? She said, I don't recall any. Then they asked her about any rules, and she said any rules except I couldn't wear no makeup. Then they asked her about the clothes she had to wear. She said baggy clothes. They said, did you have to get permission? She said, well, I had to get permission to do certain things and to go certain places. And then they asked about the communication that she would have on her cell phones and stuff like that. And she said he monitored her communication. He would be around when I spoke to people on the phone. Then she said she had to ask permission to go anywhere. Like she would have to ask permission to go anywhere. And then she said yes, to leave the house, to go to another room. And then they said, well, what did you have to do? She said mostly during mostly. And then she said, I had to contact him if I wanted food, reach an assistant to get it, or get a hold of him. Based on your observations, what did you notice about Jane Doe um, as far as rules? And she said, the same rules apply. She said, some rules, yes. How do you know? And then she said, they wanted to know, how did she know about the same rules had applied? Did you know? And then she said yes. What was going on? Were the parents of a few times other than family were there? Times you spent times on. Oh, say okay. So she spent time on the sprinter. She said she recalled one. They asked her, did she ever spend time on the sprinter? She said yes, I spent time on the sprinter. They asked her to recall the times, and she said I can recall 1 or 2 nights. And they actually, was it overnight? She said yes. They asked her, did Mr. Kelly come with her on the sprinter? She said yeah, he will come, and he will also sleep on the sprinter as well. Okay, so one like they was on that sprinter by themselves. All right, Kelly slept on the sprinter too. Okay. No, just because the feds subpoenaed her don't mean they here to testify against Robert. That is true. That is true. That is very true. Let me highlight that because that is very true. Okay, the assistant. Sometimes that wouldn't be it. Suzette, Diana, Lily. Sometimes they asked her who was these assistants that would be there. She said sometimes it would be Suzette, the twin, Diana Copeland, and Lily. Sometimes she said they were helpers or assistants to Robert Kelly. I would use. Then they asked her, did she use the restroom when she was on the sprinter? If she could use the restroom when she was on the sprinter, because there was allegedly no restroom on the sprinter, and she said she would have to pee in a cup. Okay. She said she had to pee in a cup, y'all. Lord have mercy. She said she had to pee in a cup. And then it said, they asked her why did she have to do that. She said because there was no access to a restroom. Say if you were to stop on the road, um, were there times you needed to use the restroom? And then she said, yeah, but I urinated in a cup only, not no boo boo, just urinated. If Kels couldn't be reached, were you ever left without were you ever left where you was upset before? She said, I knew did you ever leave when you were upset? And then she said, yes, because why? They asked her why. She said, because she knew the rules that, no, they asked her, did she ever get off the Sprinter? And she said, yes, she got off the Sprinter. And they asked her, how did Mr. Kelly feel about that? She said, he was upset. And she said, why was he upset? She said, because she knew the rules, but only because he was, letting me know not to do that again. Okay, so he was letting her know not to do that again. Like, don't, get off the Sprinter. And then she said she talked about the rules. She talked about the blinds that they was not lowered, and if he wasn't on the Sprinter, was these blinds lowered? Okay. And then she said, how would he know if you broke the rules? And then she said, she believed that there was an iPad that was recording. They asked her, did she saw the iPad? She said, yes, she saw him recording with an iPad, and that was correct. You also testified you spent time in the studio, correct? Correct. There were other girlfriends staying in the studio, correct. Where? She said upstairs. And then they asked her to describe that. She said there was 3 rooms, a main living room, a specific room, correct? Yes. What would Kel say take place? And then she said he would say take place. And they asked her, what did that mean? That means go wherever you're supposed to be. So when he would say take place, that meant for her to go wherever she was supposed to be, in particular the room in the studio. Yes, yes, you had to get permission to move around. She said correct. She had to get permission to move around in the studio. Now, they asked her to break down some of the rules. She said one rule was monitoring personal conversations with other people. She said he would be around. Then they said conversation with other girls. Um, he did wait with other girls. Uh, he had what did she act? They asked her, did R. Kelly put other rules on other girls also? And then she said he gave rules. What to have. No talking about anybody. They couldn't compliment each other. No talking about social media. No talking about him, obviously. And then, did you ever get in trouble? She said, I believe. She said, I believe wait. I believe with the same I gave her. She said they asked her if she ever got in trouble, and she said yes. They said when and how or with who, and she said I believe with Jane Doe number 5. We know that's the rat, and said the same I gave. So they asked her why did she get in trouble. She said because she had gave Jane Doe a compliment, and he expressed that he did not like that. And then it said you said that you had to wear baggy clothes in public. And then she said it was mostly chill. Okay. The time she said, but there was times where he said, get cute. Okay. And then it said, well, who determined that you can get cute? And she said, Robert did. Where he told you, when he told you to get cute, for these, did you follow his rules? And then she said correct. Said was there consequences for various rules that if you didn't follow them? And she said yes. He said what would he do? She said he would spank me. And then they said then what was the other consequence? Then not, she couldn't go out basically. Then the consequences was spanking. While with him, did he have your cell phone? And she said yes. He would take my cell phone, and that was one of the rules. um if she broke one of the rules, he would take her cell phone. They said, how many times did he ever take your cell phone? She said a few times. He said, well, what do you recall the reasons? She said, well, maybe I was on social media one time, I was texting an ex. Other reasons I can't recall. They said, how long did he hold your phone? She said a couple of days and sometimes a few months. this is a cross still. This is still the prosecutor questioning their witness. What restrictions did you have? She said, I couldn't be on social media. Um, no internet. Only I could only talk to family, mainly my mom and dad. Could you use? Wait. No, they asked her, could she use her phone freely? She said, no, I wouldn't say freely. Only I could talk to family. Then she said, they asked her, what else would he do? She said, he would monitor my calls. And then she said, they asked her, did she have a bank account? She said, I believe I did, but I don't think I had much in my account. I didn't have much in it in addition to him holding my phone. Did he hold on to it? She said, I believe he had my passport as well. And then she said, you had a phone, but no social media prior. They actually, did you have a phone and no, did you have social media prior to being with Mr. Kelly? She said, yes. And they asked her, what did she have? She said she had Facebook. She had Instagram. She said she had Twitter. Um, and then she said, I believe all the, she said, okay, they asked her, when did she deactivate her account? She said she believed right around the time all the hype started. He just didn't want me to have social media. And then she said, what circumstances? She said, someone made sure I deleted my social media account. They asked her, who was watching you to make sure you deleted your social media account? She said, Lily, just to make sure my account was deleted. Did you delete it? She said, yes, I did. Then she said, well, there were certain rules with other men too, right? She said, yeah, there was no interaction. What to do in the presence of them. She said she was supposed to turn away. She said, you mentioned spankings as a punishment, correct? She said, correct. When did you first get a punishment? And she said, in the sprinter. And then she said it came off to her as a joke. Kind of, they said a joke. She said kind of. And then she said, well, did he refer to the spankings? Did he call it anything? And then she said, no, just spankings. Okay, you learned it wasn't a joke. When it came down to it actually, when did you learn that it wasn't a joke? She said when it came down to actually happening, she got spanked by Rob is when she realized it wasn't a joke. When he spanked you, was it a punishment? And she said, yes. She said, well, what happened? She said, well, it would be a spanking. What would you do? She said, nothing. They said, well, where did he, spank you at? She said, on my backside. What did he use? She said, his hands. Did it leave marks and bruises? And she said, yes. Then they asked her, well, what did you do after, this happened? She said, I would cry. And they said, did you tell him that you enjoyed these spankings? And she said yes. Basically, she said he had her write it down to turn he had her write down a letter basically saying that uh these spankings was something that she enjoyed. Okay. In her own who told you to, okay, they asked her, who told you to write this letter? She said Rob did. How often? She said every now and then. And then the judge did a pause and did a sidebar and said, okay, what caused, because the judge wanted to ask a clearer question, what caused this to happen? It was a rule that I did not abide by. Did he spank you in front of others? And she said, yes, Dominique. And said, where? She said, on the sprinter. She said, but Dominique back was turned. Did he record it? She said, yes. She said, how did he record it? She said, on his iPad. Did you tell any employee? She said, yes. They said, who? She said, she told Twin, a.k.a. Suzette Mayweather. Then she said, they asked her, did she show anything? And then she said, I believe I showed her, meaning Twin. She said, where was the marks on? And she said, on my backside. Then she said, did you tell anyone else? She said, yes. They said, who? She said, I told his stylist, Cash Howard. And then she said, in addition to spankings, any other punishment besides taking the phone? And she said, yes, he had me to walk back and forth. That was a punishment. And then they asked her, what did she have to do? She said, walk back and forth. And then they asked her, what would he have her doing when she was walking back and forth? She said he would tell her to call herself names like stupid, slut, while she was walking back and forth. A lot of this stuff just didn't add up. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. They said, well, how long did the back and forth last? And she said probably 30 minutes. Then we went for break for lunch. Then when we came back in, um, okay, I think I could finish here her notes because I recall moving the other witness to 15. This has to do with Jane Doe number 7, permittedly to first her to properly do the witness. According to Jane number 1, had sex 7 with number 7 with minor 1991. That wasn't gonna be permitted. The government acts unfairly prejudiced and unreliable. Jane Doe number 5 will testify that she was with him. Okay, so they was talking about, this is when we first came back in, they was just having like a sidebar conversation. It really wasn't a sidebar, it was kind of like an open conversation in the court, and they was just discussing when the next witness is going to come in, and some of her testimonies and what was admissible versus what wasn't. And so this was just stuff about that right there. Do I have the right? Yes, the performing employee was Mr. Valley Broke consisted that any of them. Okay, before Jane Doe one that the existence was when Jane Doe over. I don't find it to be prejudiced. Okay, so the judge was talking about she didn't find some of the next witness that was going to be prejudiced, and that she iterated to Jane Doe number 1. Okay, the position, the medical. Oh, then they talked about one of the freelancers wanted the medical records, and they wanted to know about that, but they were supposed to talk about that afterwards. Okay, so then they said, okay, so get the witness and the jury. Now they're bringing Haley back in. Okay, now after the break, the government has Anna. Okay, so now the prosecutor is still on. Anna, which is a.k.a. Haley. After the break, you testify about the punishments he had you walk back and forth, call yourself a bitch, a slut, and a whore. Who would direct you? She said, Rob. Did you want to say those things? She said, no. How did you react to being punished that way? She said, can you ask me again? During the punishment, did it ever happen during punishment? Sometimes. She said, how did you wait, how did you show you were upset? She said, I would cry. How did you react? She said, I can't fully recall, I just remember doing it. Did you ever express you didn't like it? Can you ask one more time? She said, you expressed you disagreed. I would say no and move on to whatever was next. That's Haley's response. I would say no and move on to whatever was that. They asked her basically, did you ever express you didn't like it? And then she said, can you ask again? And they asked her again, did you ever express you didn't like it? And she said, I would say no. They asked her, how did she ever express it? She said, I would just say no and move on to whatever was next. Okay. What would he say? He would tell her to get it together. And she said, what did that mean? She said, to do whatever I was supposed to have done. Did he ever record this? She said, yes. She said, how? On the iPad. What did he record? Back and forth. What did Kells do, and why did wait. He was, oh, she said, she said he recorded on the iPad. They asked her, uh, what was he recording? She said back and forth. They asked her, what else would he had done during, this time where you was on the punishment, walking back and forth? She said he would jack off. She said R. Kelly would jack off while she's on punishment. You talked about punishment back and forth. Did he ever ask you to perform sexual acts? She said, yes. They said, what type? She said, maybe oral sex. And then they said, all those times? And she said, no. And they said, well, why not? She said, because he worked and wait. Oh, she said they asked her, did she want to do these things? She said no. And they said why? She said because she was so worked up and she wasn't happy in the moment because of the punishment. They said, well, did he ever become violent? And if you ever broke the rules? And she said yes. She said he believed you when he would believe you broke the rules. She said yes. Okay, wait. Did it happen on other occasions? And she said, yes. Okay, what he said about you and other men. What happened if you broke those rules? She said he would go through her phone, saw the communication with the ex. Who went through the phone? She said R. Kelly did. What happened? She said he hit me. How did he hit you? On the side, open hand. That was it. That was it. He realized at some point you wait. At some point, you traveled to Alabama. She said, yes. She said, why? She said, to see R. Kelly. Well, what happened in the relationship when the rules about seeing another man? Did you discuss interacting? She said, it wasn't with another man. He was performing. I was recording him. I don't recall the reason why. It was something I did with my phone. I don't think it was that. When it happened, we were backstage, and in the heat of the moment, I targeted him. Okay, I targeted him. He grabbed me. I had my chain on. He grabbed me. The chain scratched my neck. The necklace broke. It cut me on the neck. And he did not want me to leave. He did not want me to leave the dressing room. I walked to the hotel around the corner. I don't remember having my phone on me. I remember going to the hotel. He told me he would get me a phone. He would get me a plane ticket. I had to write a letter so he would get comfortable, buy me the ticket. And then they said, well, did he get the ticket? She said, I don't recall. No, they asked her, what did she write? She said, I don't recall what I wrote. And then the judge said, you were at the hotel when you wrote this letter? And she said, yes. See how the judge is getting all in this and asking questions? I think the judge has kind of stepped out of boundary. And again, that's my personal opinion. That does not reflect the facts of the matter of this case. I just want to make sure I throw that out there because I'm not trying to be saying stuff that, I shouldn't be saying. But that's my personal opinion. Okay, then the judge said, so you were at the hotel when you wrote this letter? She said, yes. And then she said, in his defense, if I said he beat me, there was marks on me. In he was in the wait we was in the room. Yes, I believe on the sprinter. I don't remember if I gave it to I don't remember if I gave the letter to Dominique. I got my necklace back and I went to the airport. Did you travel to Miami? Yes, but I was with R. Kelly. Well, what happened? She said, I believe what happened. She said, well, I believe I broke the rules. My head was turned. He slapped me in my face. I didn't notice if there was men down the hall. He said, you're not to be looking at other men. I don't fully recall what happened next. Then they said, well, during that time with R. Kelly, did he ask you to sign anything? She said, yes, I would sign an NDA. I don't recall. They asked her about some pictures. She said that that R. Kelly took some pictures of her. They asked her, was any of the pictures sexual pictures? She said, no sexual pictures. They said, you wasn't clear when you wasn't clear. You wasn't clear. And did you read the NDA? And then she said, it was something. She didn't recall exactly what was on the NDA. She said it was just something to protect him. Did you sign it? She said, yes. Who gave it to you? She said, one of his assistants. They said, who directed it? At the directions of R. Kelly. And she said, yes. She said, he asked me to write things like my dad molested me. I messed around with my cousin. They asked her, was it true? She said, no. They said, how many times did you ever, write these letters? She said, a few times. They said, well, how did you know what to write? And then she said, R. Kelly would tell her. Then she said, well, was R. Kelly present when you wrote these letters? She said, most of the time. And then she said, she said she filmed herself writing down one of these letters because she figured that it would be needed for a time like this. She said, I didn't want to write the letter. Actually, did she want to write the letter? She said she didn't want to write the letter. She said she wanted proof saying, she wanted proof is why she recorded herself writing the letter. They said, well, where did this happen? She said, she believes she was at the Trump. She said she did not want to write this But they said, well, why write it? And she said, it was on his defense. If something happened or was to come out, if something happened or was to come out, what you wrote was, so they asked her, so what you wrote was untrue? She said, yes. She said, he went through my phone, and then they asked her, did she still have the proof of, her recording herself writing down this letter that she didn't really want to write. And then she said she didn't have it. And they asked her why. She said, because R. Kelly went through her phone and he deleted it. They said, who? She said, R. Kelly. She said, so when writing what you did, and then when you was writing what you did, and then there was a question. She said, I would give it to him. And then she said, we're going to show the government exhibit 430 A, B, C, and D, 449 for identification purposes. They asked her, do you recognize these items? And she said, yes. They asked them to publish it, 430A. And it was a letter that she wrote. Said, so you testify you wrote letters. Is this one of them? And she said, yes. And then they said, then they read a little bit of it. She said, I feel a little bit better now. My mom wanted to go out. My mom wanted to go out with you to start. My mom wanted me to go out with you to start my modeling career. I sent out pictures because I knew it would blow up my career. I felt so bad about that. I felt so bad about that also for spreading lies and rumors about other females. My mom and I had uh, a blackmail. Wait, my mom and I, wait, her mom had her to blackmail you, and I didn't get all the words, the whole letter, because they read it, just a little bit of it. They didn't read the whole letter, but this is what was said in the letter. Where were you to, wait, to spend, wait, that ain't right. Okay, here we go. Were there ever a plan to blackmail R. Kelly? She said never. Showing exhibit 430B. Because in the first letter, it was a letter that she said her mom had a right to blackmail R. Kelly. And then they asked her, was there ever a plan to blackmail R. Kelly? She said never. And then she said, okay, so we would say we had sex. How much of a nice guy you are. I love you so much. My mom about to continue those. My mom wanted me to continue those plans. Who were you writing? And then she said, when you wrote this letter, did you have any plans? And she said, when she wrote the letter, it was for Ra. She said, did you have any plans to blackmail him? She said, to blackmail who? She said, Ra. Who instructed you to write this letter? She said, R. Kelly did. She said, I don't. The way she said, they asked her, did you keep a copy? She said no. They asked her, she was trying to convince her mom. Hold on. She said, I no longer want to be a part of this blackmail. She said, I hope you can forgive me and my mom. I love you and thank you again. Please call me basically when you can. She said, I know when, I know when this all gets attention to this whole thing. I remember my mom said something like the after, hold on. My mom said she wanted to do the same thing the other parents were doing. The other female parents had you write this the other parents had you write this from other females. Hold on. Parents write this. Exhibit 430B, showing the jury only. 430C, direct attention to uh, the last lines. So I wanted to leave about, she said, I lied about my age as well. I'm actually 20 years old. I wanted you to like me, but I wouldn't blame you if you don't want to speak to me. Rob told me to write this in the beginning. I did say I was 20. I can't remember if I was 19 or 20. Did he tell you what to say? She said yes. Showing exhibit 449, published another letter. Similar to the other letters, it is this one that R. Kelly wanted you to write? And then she said yes. And then it said she would tell me to be very seductive. She said her mom would tell her to be very seductive, record as much as I could. At first I was down with that. I wore skimpy clothes to keep myself noticeable. He never promised me that he never promised me spent more. I didn't want to be a part of my mom's stupid plan. Did you have a plan? And she said no. These are the letters that she wrote. They didn't read the whole letters. They just read some of it, and I just wrote down what I could of these letters. And then they said, who directed you to write this? She said, Rob. Now, showing another portion at the top, this is what was said. I knew my mom would go further. I knew my mom would go forth with the other parents to go along with this plan. All these girls' moms made us wanted to be stars. If it didn't work or backup, the backup plan is just what they're doing now. This sounds all the same as the others. This is crazy. Was this true that you wrote? She said no. Who directed you to write this? She said Rob did. Now, directed, I'm not. She said directed, I'm not brainwashed. I'm not being told to turn my phone off. Hold on. This is another letter. Controlling you, hit you when to come and when to go. She said, I feel like that choice was mine. He had control over your phone and the things not true. And those things are not true. She said, correct. Letters, these embarrassing letters was false statements, molested by your family. They asked, did she ever record a video of herself? And she said, correct. They said, what? She said, sexual seduction with her body fluid. Then they asked her, hold on. She said, they asked her, how did she record it? She said, with my iPad. And they said, where from? And she said, in the hotel bathroom. And then they said, in the room, where was R. Kelly in the room? She said, he was outside the bathroom. And then they said, who instructed you? She said, R. Kelly did. They said, did he record it? And she said no. She said after you recorded it, what did you do with it? She said, I gave R. Kelly my iPad. Then she said, okay, so you wrote, did you see others? Did you write that you saw other girls? She said, I never saw. And then she said, I came across Dominique writing in a she said writing in the guest house. They said, did you ever hear him? She said, having sex. And she said, yes. And then they said, where? She said, on the Sprinter. She said, was Kels there? She said, yes. And then, no, yeah. Talking to the girls on what? Hold on. She said, who was he talking to? She said she heard him talking to Jane Doe and Joycelyn. She said she don't recall exactly when, just what to, he tell her just what to say in the letter. She said, ever, on any other occasion, did your mom visit? She said, correct. She said, where? She said, in Chicago. What happened when your mom came? She said, he told me to make my mama comfortable. Leave my phone at the front. Leave my mom's phone at the front. Basically, everything the letter said. Who asked your mom? She said, who asked your mom to write a letter? She said she did. She said, why? She said, because R. Kelly told me to make my mother comfortable. She said, well, did you? And then she said, yes. When he asked to have your mom, he to write a letter, if he comes around, if she came around, wait. She wrote a letter that wasn't true. Her mama wrote a letter that wasn't true. It was a blackmail and all that stuff. What did she do? She gave it to me and I gave it to the assistant. Who? She said, I believe Diana Copeland. Where did you have your mama write this letter? She said, in the sauna. It was a safe. They said, why in the sauna? She said, because it was the safest place. There was no towels, there was no clothes, there was no hidden microphones. And then she said, whose idea was it? She said it was R. Kelly's. Now, did they give, wait, did she have to sign NDA? And she said maybe an NDA, but that was it. Now, going back to the videos in the body fluid, how did you hold on. How did you feel? She said humiliation. Yeah. Is that something you wanted to do? She said no. Now, during the relationship, uh, who else was there? She said Dominique, Joy, V, and Juice. She said, I would say all of them. Now, who you recall? She said Jane Doe, Dominique, and Joycelyn. Did you want to? And then she said no. She said, whose idea was that? She said it was R. Kelly. No, they asked her, did she have sex with any of those girls? My apologies. And then she said, did you want to? She said no. And they said, well, whose idea was it? She said it was R. Kelly's. Now, was he present? She said yes. Were there times you made it known to R. Kelly, and then she that you didn't want, to do this? And she said, my facial expressions and my attitude. And then he will pull me to the side, tell me to get it together. Was it recorded? Yes. What was used? She said an iPad. Who was in the who was there? She said, wait. Who was in charge is what the question was. She said R. Kelly was. She said, how? She said by directing it. Mainly then come on. She said mainly they will come on to me. What was said? I don't recall, just telling me what to do. Sex, other did you have sex with other women? And then she said yes. What others? She said he called him nephew. No, they asked her, did R. Kelly have you have sex with other women and men? And she said yes. And they said, well, what other uh people? And then she said he will call him nephew. They asked her to describe him. She said he's light-skinned, he's tall, he's African American. Said, then they presented an exhibit 68. Do you recognize exhibit 68? She said yes. They said, who is this? She said, this is nephew. He said, do you know who nephew real name is? And she said no. Do you know if they're related? She said no, I don't think they're related. Now, Rob talked about it in Chicago at a hotel. Sex with nephew. Yes, yes. Did R. Kelly have sex with nephew? She said, I didn't see it. No. Do you see? Did you see? Did R. Kelly did you have sex in front of R. Kelly? She said two times, and they said where? She said in Miami and in Chicago with allegedly nephew. Now, what if anything did you hear? She said, I didn't know much about him. They asked her, did she know where he worked at? She said she didn't know much about him, but she knows that she think he worked at McDonald's. Did you want to have sex with nephew? And she said no. Who directed this? She said R. Kelly. Now, during this sexual accounting, was R. Kelly there? She said yes. Was no, did R. Kelly record it? She said yes. And then they said who? And then she said R. Kelly. Now, what was used in this recording? She said an iPad. Now, did he use a condom? She said no. Now, during during your time with R. Kelly, did he record? And she said yes. What was used? She said an iPad. Did you ever see videos? Yes. She said, how did you see these videos? She said, R. Kelly would show me these videos. They said, how many? No, they said, how did you see it? She said, on an iPad. And he said, how many? She said, I'm not sure. I just know it was more than one. And they said, where? She said, by by who? And then she said, Rob, did you ever see videos of you when Robert was not around? And she said no, she never saw a video when R. Kelly was not around, only when he was around. She said, where did you see these videos at? She said in a book bag. And then they said like a backpack. She said, yeah, same book bag, backpack, the same. Now, during the sex, what did he say what to dress or how to dress? And she said, yeah, sometimes he would have me role play in costumes. They said, in what way? She said a cartoon character like the Disney, a young girl. They said, well, did he ask you to role play? She said, yeah. Did he say what age? She said she don't recall if he specified an age. Then he said, well, when did the relationship end with you and R. Kelly? She said in December, going on the New Year's, December 2017, going into 2018. She really wasn't sure. She said, well, how did it end? She said at a hotel, and it was around Christmas time. That's what she remember, around Christmas time. She said it was a lot going on. I was just over it. A friend came by, and that was it. She said, well, was he outside when you left? And then she said, she said, well, we had an argument the night before. Then she said, well, okay, so wait. So, okay, so she said they was just arguing back and forth. Then they said, did anything happen to your phone? And she said, yeah, he took my phone and then he gave it back. Now, she said they asked her, did he ask you to call you anything? And she said, yeah, daddy. And then it said um, after the relationship ended public, yes. Did you participate in the docu-series? And she said yes. And then she said, did you provide pictures to them? And she said yes. And they asked her what kind. She said pictures of us, the good times. They asked her about, did you mention any type of abuse on the docu-series? And she said she wasn't sure, and that she could not recall. Then they said, okay, well, the surviving R. Kelly people, they edited the way they wanted to edit it, is what she said. She said, but she talked about the good times and other times that was not so good. And did you ever go public with your statements? And she said yes. She said she mostly spoke on the positive side. She never spoke on the negative side. They said, well, did you mention did wait she didn't mention you didn't mention anything negative. She said correct. Are you familiar with the docu-series, the two-part series? And then she said the second part is when, and then she said, I don't remember. It might have been last year, like 2020. This is how she said it. I'm just reading how she said it. Now, don't um wait. She said, don't, no, wait. But 2020, did you receive payment for participating in this thing? She said, yes. They said, how much? She said, I don't know, $1,000 or $1,500. She said, I don't remember. And then she said, then they said, okay, we're going to show an exhibit 48. Do you recognize this? She said, yes. She said, who is this? She said, Dr. Meg Graham. So who is this doctor? She said, that's Rob's doctor. She said, have you ever met this person? She said yes. They said where? She said at a cigar lounge. And then they said, who would be with the doctor and when you met him? And she said he would be with his wife. And then the prosecutor said, we have no further questions. Now it's CANNICK time. Is y'all ready for CANNICK time? He probably was the one that gave it to them. Okay, but a lot of memory problems 2.0. Will Kells doesn't even have herpes, laugh aloud, but yet the doctor said he treated him for it. Okay, let's get some more stuff on here. Ready, Red. This shit is getting on my nerves. I can't take these lies. Okay, so now it's CANNICK time, okay? He's going on the cross. He said, you testified about your relationship. How long was you in a relationship with R. Kelly? She said, about 3 years. So the government asked you this morning, to describe your sexual nature. It all sexual? She said it wasn't all sexual. She said, I don't recall because I wouldn't it wouldn't be true to characterize you would go out all the time, almost every week. Correct. To cigarette bars often? Yes. To Starbucks? Correct. You didn't like that he asked you not to do that. He didn't like it. There was times he did want you to post, and then that's when the judge came and interrupted and said objection, and then it was like overruled. Okay, for security reasons. Now he told you to he told you you couldn't just do things because it poses a security risk. He told you if you get off the van, that could expose you to security risk. Down the road, when it all started up, but he did say it. Down the road, yes. This is her responding. Down the road, yes. But Mechanic is asking her, he did tell you that it will pose a risk, you just getting off the bus the way you just want to get off the bus. And she's like, down the line, yes. She had an attitude at this point. She was very upset the questions he asked her. Now, how did he control you? What I wear, travel, not being able to use the bathroom, a toilet, wouldn't be able to use the restroom. You asked in what ways was he controlling? Not being able to get off the Sprinter to use the restroom. Sometimes security issues with the Sprinter was distinctive in what way? when you saw it was customized, um, the blinds were up. No. Outside. Could you see in? No. Okay. They covered the blinds. They covered the blinds. They came up and covered the windows. On the outside, you couldn't see. It could have been, but not with the time. No, wait. No, you couldn't see in because from the outside you could not see in, and that's because of the security. And so she said. Then he changed the question. So you was on chill radio, correct? And then she said yes. And that was August the 1st, 2019. She said, I don't remember the date. He said, but you do remember being on there. Yes. Now, they asked her, she said there was other African American males, two other, she said, yeah, there was two other people, but he said, what people heard was, she said, what people heard was untrue. She said, I do not know. I didn't go into details. So he's asking her, what you said on that radio talk show wasn't true. I mean, that was true. And then she said she didn't recall because she didn't go into detail. She said, I forgot my thoughts. What you told, you were testifying about. She said, no, it was true. I didn't want to speak bad about him publicly. I didn't want to, she said, I didn't want to be, wait. I didn't want, you could have been, wait. I could have been, I don't know what I said. She said she didn't know what she said. He said, Your Honor, I want to play this for her. She said, he said, okay, so go back to when you met Mr. Kelly. You went to this concert in Columbia, South Carolina. You had all access pass, correct? She said, I don't recall. He said, you met Mr. Kelly backstage, correct? Your mother was with you, correct? Your mother told him about you modeling, correct? He said, your mother was over there talking about modeling. She said, I don't recall. She said, he told uh, your mother was over the top about your modeling. He said, do you remember the after party? She said, I don't recall. He said, do you recall? She said, do you recall? She said, I don't. Do you recall that after 3 months you called R. Kelly? She said 3 months you didn't after. Okay, so 3 months you called R. Kelly. Then there was 3 months where you didn't speak. She said a couple of weeks later. He said a couple of weeks later, you was in Atlanta. When you didn't speak, did R. Kelly reach out to you? She said she don't remember. He said so in Atlanta you reached out to Mr. Kelly. She said I don't know him. I don't know about him, but about his house where we were at, but the cigar bar, and went to his place. So he said, so after you hung out, you spent the night with Mr. Kelly. She said, I don't think I spent the night. He said, well, do you recall going to Starbucks? She said, I don't recall. Now, meeting at another venue, I did have my friends come to another show. Now, you walked and talked for 4 hours with Mr. Kelly. What city? She said, I think it was a gay parade. I think it was Charlotte. So you saw him regularly. Yes. You will go to his house. Yes. You had your own apartment. Yes. You stayed a week out the whole. She said she stayed in her apartment for maybe a week out the whole entire time for 1 year that she had her apartment. Now, did you tell did you tell Kelly that you would go to your apartment? She said it came a time where he said it came a time where R. Kelly actually paid for your apartment, correct? Yes. If you wanted your parents, if you went to, did you go to your parents? She said, no, I didn't go often. He said, you came and went as you please. And there was a long pause. I mean, she paused for so long and was like, I would say yes, but if I would leave, if there was a argument, unless we got into an argument, he said, so you got into an argument often? She said, yes. Even if you didn't go home, you left, correct? And she said, yeah. He didn't get in front of the door, correct, to stop you. She said, correct. Unless you was leaving with something. She said, no. He said, unless you was leaving with something he bought you. you tried to leave with. She said, yeah, the shoes on my feet, and the dog, and only the clothes that he bought me. She tried to leave with the clothes, the dog, and the shoes. She said the dog was a Christmas gift, correct? Yes. He paid for your cosmetic surgery, correct? Yes. At least two of them, correct? Did you ask to give, did your parents ask for money for the family? She said no. Did they ask with you not knowing or without your knowledge? She said no. He said, well, your mom wanted you to go home for Christmas. Didn't he encourage you to go home? She said, yes, he encouraged it. But there was an issue with it. She said, now when you return, when you return, R. Kelly said y'all would celebrate Christmas together. Yes, yes. Now, uh, is it true Mr. Kelly gave you a birthday party? Yes. He flew your whole family in? Yes. And your friends? Yes. Wasn't it like a big gala affair? Yes. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. Now, which birthday? How long were you with him? Maybe a year when he gave her first birthday. She said he gave other parties. He gave other parties with Joycelyn. He gave other parties for Joycelyn. He gave money to you to go out and buy gifts for Joycelyn. There were two parties for Joycelyn in the beginning, and there was another one down the road. Now, the first one was a pool party when I first went to the party, and it was a good friend. You're meeting her. He gave you money to go out and buy Joy a gift. um that wasn't the first time he gave you money. Is that correct? She said yes. In New York City, he actually gave you a wad of money, right? Yes. How much? She said, I don't know, about $2,000. It was a wad of different bills. It could have been, but I don't recall the amount. She gets suddenly got amnesia. Now, do you know your role and the responsibility? Do you know the roles and the responsibility of assistant? And she was like, who? He was like, any of them. Well, we needed me, the other girls. The assistant was there to make sure you had assistance. They could move unless the purpose was for the purpose was for us. How many was for you? How many of these assistants were for you? She said Twin, then Diana came. Services by Twin. Yes. Twin left, then Diana. Did you have other assistants after Twin? Didn't work out for him? She said Diana. Any other assistants? She said yes. Lily was around here and there, but mainly Diana. You testified a broken necklace. You said he thought you were texting other men. She said, I don't remember if I shoved him, but I did target him. He asked you to write a letter after surviving R. Kelly. There came a time when surviving R. Kelly, she's like, wait, rewind. He asked you to write a letter about what and when did he ask you to write this letter? The judge said, put the question to the witness about the necklace. It was the same evening of the show in Mobile where wait, I believe in 2018-19. Do you recall when Surviving R. Kelly came out? She said last year or before. I don't really recall. You was in the damn docu-series and you don't recall? How you in this docu-series and you don't recall? Lord have mercy on these people. Whenever you wanted to leave to go back home, um, you had an issue. Did you have a problem? Was there a problem paying for the ticket? She said, someone always bought your ticket every time before the last time someone bought, because she claimed she bought her own ticket the last time. He said, so someone always bought your ticket every time before the last time someone bought your ticket. She said, well, I walked around the hotel. I wasn't trying to get a hotel. Not sure that for, I believe I knew I had no money. I don't remember if I had a phone. I remember I didn't have my phone. I had numbers that I written down. it could have been him you were leaving. I want you to answer my question. When you got to the airport, was there a flight leaving that night? Can you ask the question again? No. Is It was the hotel Rob was staying at. I remember writing the letter. It could have been the next morning. Isn't it a fact there was no flights leaving out that night? Did Kells pay for your flight? Kells paid for that flight, y'all. He paid the hotel and the flight, didn't he? Yes. The letter he said was what you said he wanted you to write. It was a perfect question because there was a sidebar, and when the judge was done with the sidebar, the judge actually said the question was a perfect question. Now, going back, the letter he asked you to write after the show, he wanted you to write he was not the initiator. Wasn't that true? He wasn't the initiator of the fight that you started because remember, you attacked this man. He didn't attack you. Is that true? She said, correct. Now, depend on what the letter said. I don't remember what the letter said. You want me to say it's true that he wasn't the initiator? That is correct. And you left. Yes. How long did you stay? Gone. She said about a week or two. Now, you contacted R. Kelly again, correct? Yes. You told him you wanted to come back. You told R. Kelly you wanted to come back. Now, how long had gone? She said a few days had gone. He already now. Okay, so you left. Now you said he had already spanked you. He punched you, correct? You stayed away and you asked to come back? Correct. Now, you went back? Yes. Did you have a phone when you returned? I don't remember. Kells would punish you, remember? Correct. The punishments was for little lies you told. I don't recall. She said, I don't recall. Wait, she said, I don't recall that. He said, let me refresh your memory. Now, when you asked Mr. Kelly to come back, now when you asked to come, you knew about the other young ladies. Uh they all had cell phones. Yes? No, I wouldn't say all of them. Jane did. I would really say her. You said Jane and Joycelyn, not the whole time. Did you tell the government that clearly when you spoke to the government, you didn't tell them at times that they had a phone? Correct. Now, a few minutes ago about the punishment, the basis of the punishments weren't for you telling lies and not she said he said, have you read it? And then the judge got irritated, and I don't know why, but the judge like, no, no, no. If she doesn't understand the question, you have to rephrase it. He said, I did say it. What's on the document? The judge said, I need a sidebar. He said, I need a sidebar. The judge said, of course. I mean, the judge, I'm sorry, y'all. The judge ain't playing fair. And if something should go wrong, I mean, I just see so many grounds for appeal. It ain't even fun. I'm talking about new trials and all because unfortunately, this ain't right. This ain't right. This ain't right. Now, and that's my personal opinion. Again, my opinion does not reflect the facts of the matter or what I am reading when I'm reading from the words that is coming out of their mouths. Okay, that is my personal sidebar opinion. Now he comes back. Isn't it a fact during an interview in November 28, 2020, none of the punishments you received because you did not want to do something, but Mr. Kelly thought you was doing something behind his back? So if it's in the document, the government wrote, is it wrong? And she said, yes. Now, after you return, asking R. Kelly to return, the necklace broke. You came back to live. You continue shopping and going out and living with him. Yes. Did you decide to leave again? She said, I'm not sure what caused you every time she said, what caused you to leave? She said, well, every time was different. There came a time you returned again. Did you know Jane? She said, do you mean prior? No, when you saw her, I wasn't, he said, when you saw her, she said, I wasn't around then like they were around each other. Where you live, uh, were you living uh in the house or the hotel in Chicago? She said the studio, the Trump, and the hotel. Now, didn't you get along? Yes. Did you see didn't you say she liked wait, maybe wait. This is the part where she said that Jane did not like her. She said, they asked her, how did you know Jane didn't like you? She said, maybe it was the senses of a woman sharing the same man. You told the government that Jane was jealous of you. Yes? Yes. Lord, have mercy, have mercy, have mercy. Now, did you send a message to Mr. Kelly asking about nephew? Getting back to a question. Getting back to the question. See if this refreshes your recollection. She said, I don't recall this. Have you no knowledge? She said, I do remember my cousin. You have no knowledge of your parents asking Mr. Kelly for money? Do you know what scat sex is? The testimony about body fluid under oath. Remind you, you're under oath. And then there was an objection, and they had to sustain where she didn't even have to answer the question. And I just gets on my nerves, Now, have to move on to the next thing. You testified there was a time where you were suspicious that he was suspicious of you and other men you dated other men when you was with R. Kelly. She said no. And he said, did you hook up with the football player? And then the judge did another timeout sidebar. And he said, when you went home, and then again, there was a sidebar. He says, so on one of your separations, you dated a football player and a rap musician after R. Kelly. I mean, while we was with R. Kelly or after R. Kelly? She said, yes. He said, did Rob speak to the government about it? No. Did you speak to the government about it? About dating a football player and a rap musician? And she said, yes. He said, now you testified you didn't want to share R. Kelly any longer. She said, sure, yes. Now, when you started dating R. Kelly, correct, you got introduced to being a part of the other girls. Yes, you can say that. Hold on. You had sex together with other women. Yes. Yes. You spoke about it, correct? Correct. He asked, was it okay? Isn't it in fact, R. Kelly asked you, was it okay that you have sex with other women? And she said that is correct. Now, you testified that Mr. Kelly took your passport. Is that correct? She said, well, I know he had it. We was going to Africa. He didn't take it. You were supposed to go on a cruise, right? She said, I slightly remember that. The reason you didn't go was because you were smoking weed in the house. He was not around when I was smoking weed in the house. And in fact, I was in the garage. This is what she said. He said, so then he decided that, it was a cruise that was going to be Tom Joyner. He was going to, and R. Kelly was going to perform. She said, and he said, and he didn't even spank you, did he? For smoking in the house. She said, no. And then he said, well, she said, I know that I left. Wait. She said, I know he left with me with no phone, and he left me with his assistant. She said, they said, which assistant? She said, it was Lily at the time. Now, when Diana was working, I remember it was Lily. She the one who told him about me smoking the marijuana. And then she said, I believe I left the next day. He asked her, well, when did you leave after that? She said, I believe I left the next day. He said, well, how? She said, well, I had my computer and I wrote to my friend and she came and she got me. That's what she said. I got this verbatim now. Now, did he get your phone? When did you get your phone? She said, well, he came and he took my phone. They said, where? She said, at the house. Did you have it on you? She said, I don't know if he asked me to see it and then he just took it or he left the next day. Do you know where he departed from? Do you remember when he took it? She said, I don't recall. It was before he left to go on the cruise. She said, I don't believe I ever even got it back after leaving. You did return. And then the rest of my notes. Uh, do you recall how Mr. Kelly started dating? 4 or 5 would be 6 months be okay? Are you asking me? Sure. Yeah, you're the only one you say. Okay, you're the only one that you said R. Kelly bought gifts. Okay, no, this is the other lady. I'm sorry. Hold on. This is the break. This is because this is the end of hers. Okay, hold on. Let's get to the end of Calhoun. Make sure I'm giving it to you. Okay, so continue to Calhoun. Okay. He was out of the country for the cruise. She said, I don't remember if he left for it. The boat didn't take off. You left. How long did you stay gone before you came back? She said, I don't remember. And then he said, so did you have your procedure, your surgery? She said, before, she said, I don't remember. I just remember I went back for a follow-up and they didn't do it, correct? Did you tell the government you stayed for a surgical procedure? Was it 1 or 2? And then at that point, they said, we're going to break for the remaining of today. And then they were going to come back tomorrow to go back over to continue crossing her because mechanic is not done with her yet. Okay, that's how the day ended. Now I got to take you to the other quick witness who did come in before they finished with Haley. They brought in a witness because the witness had to go and had some other stuff to do and wasn't going to be available. So they got this witness out the way. So they did all of the questioning and they're done with that particular witness. So I'm going to go right into that one. Let me just get the notes for that witness so that way we know who this person is. Now, this person name is Catherine Lee. Now, she was an out of order witness because there was some scheduling issues that she had. So they started crossing her, and then in the cross they went. Okay, let me somebody said the way my anxiety is set up. Thank you guys so much. All is appreciated again. I don't like begging. I don't like asking. Y'all know my pride is just always in the way, but Lord knows whatever you guys can do. Please, 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 please hit the Cash App, hit the Zelle. Keep me here in New York so I can stay here, so I can continue to bring this great information to you guys as I continue to be in the courtroom, taking all these notes, writing all this stuff down, spending countless hours in the courtroom. I mean, do what you can. You're not forced to donate, but small or big, I don't care what it is, all is well, because whatever y'all can come up with, I'm sure I can add something to that, okay? I don't want to sound repetitive or whatever, but please, you guys, do what you can. I'm going to take a quick second just to drink me some juice. Gotta get some refreshment in me, y'all. Gotta get some refreshment in me, y'all. That's a lot. That was a lot. We've been on here for 2 hours and 16 minutes, and Lord knows I don't like to do long lives because I want you guys to be able to get all the information out of a live without having to be on a very long, extensive live. So I'm trying to give it to you guys as accurate as I can and as fast as I can so I can get y'all out of here. It's 9 o'clock here in New York. I want to take my shower, and Lord knows, I want to get some rest so I can be prepared and well rested for tomorrow because they're going to continue with Haley Calhoun as well as other witnesses. Okay, so let me grab me a swallow, and I'll be right back. Don't you go nowhere. This is a quick commercial break. Hold on, wait. I want to do this so elegantly. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh Lord, let's see if I can get this to go. Okay, here we go. Don't y'all go nowhere. I need all 834. Let me swallow this, run to the restroom, wash my hands, and we're gonna get into that last witness, and then we're done for tonight. And then I'll be back tomorrow. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe so y'all can be there for my lunchtime update, because that's when I'll be bringing them to y'all. So hold on, y'all. All right, I'm back. I'm back. All right, all right. All right. Let's pause that. Now, that's the song that Faith Rogers was actually listening to when they tried to play some video that was a shady video. When I tell you, you couldn't see nothing and you couldn't hear nothing, but this is it. And R. Kelly was in there like, this is it. And he was doing this in his hands and stuff. He was turned up, y'all. When they was playing his music, he was so unbothered, you guys. I mean, so unbothered, because at the end of the day, you know, he know what he know. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. We just have to wait and see how things turn out. Now, let's get into this last witness, Catherine Lee. Okay, and then we're done, and then you guys can get up out of here, and I can get in the shower and get me some rest. Okay, now Catherine Lee. So she was an out of order witness. She had a scheduling issue where she had to go. They asked her how old she was. She said she was 39. Where she was from? She was from Chicago. They asked her how far she went in school. She said she got a bachelor's degree. Then they asked her about what school did she attend. She said she attended Chicago Academy for the Arts. When did you graduate? She said 1999. Said at the time that was the only arts school, and it was for musical base because she wanted to be in music. Now, she said, they said, well, did you want to be a singer? And then she said, yeah. And then they asked her, where did she work? She said she worked for a nonprofit organization. Then they exhibited 57A. They said, do you recognize this person? She said, yes. They said the first name only. She said, Stephanie. Now, is this the same person, full name of the individual that you just saw in the exhibit? And she said, yes. And so here's exhibit 57B, referred to as Stephanie. How did you know? She said, well, we attended the same high school. We graduated together in 1991. 99. I'm sorry. They graduated in 1999. Then they presented exhibit 1. Do you recognize this person? Yes. Who is this? She said, that is R. Kelly. Have you ever met him in person? She said, yes. She said, can you describe what he's wearing? She said, the gentleman in the blue shirt. Now, they said, after graduation, around spring of 1999, what happened? She said, Stephanie introduced me to sing for R. Kelly. She said to him, where? She said, I'm not sure, but it was in Chicago at a truck studio. She said, who was there? She said, Stephanie and her. She said, she performed for him. She sung for him. She said he was unimpressed. R. Kelly was unimpressed with the poor lady, okay? So to me, this is some vindictiveness. This is a lot of bandanas. People is mad because, you know, they get in front of this superstar and they just want overnight success. This is my personal opinion. Again, shout out to Truth Media. Who is she to R. Kelly? She was nobody. She was Blackie. We're gonna get there, Truth Media, but I'm giving you some exclusive. She was Blackie woman, but let's get there. We gotta crawl before we walk, y'all. We gotta crawl before we walk. But I'm definitely gonna get your question. So she said, she said he was unimpressed. She said, I sung my Sunny Valentine. He said no one wanted to hear it. R. Kelly said nobody don't want to hear that. My Sunny Valentine. My Sunny. Y'all don't even want to hear. If I start singing some Sunny Valentine, you're gonna be like, Hollywood, if you don't get your Sunny Valentine ass off the screen, we want to hear some R&B, R&B, R&B. All right, anyway. Uh, okay, so she said he didn't want to hear that. So they said, well, how long was you in the studio? She said about 30 minutes. Next. Hollywood, next. Bring me a piece of the puzzle, y'all. Give me some pieces of the puzzle. Now we can get silly because we didn't got through the most hardest part, which was that long ass testimony coming from the government passed on to CANNICK. So let's get into some content, y'all. All right. Stephanie. Okay, so how long was you there? She said about 30 minutes. Who you was with? She said her and Stephanie. All the time. Where did you live? She said in Chicago. She said, okay, so Stephanie was okay. She said, so basically, who was dealing with R. Kelly? She said Stephanie was seeing R. Kelly. Yes, yes. Have you ever met any of R. Kelly's assistants? She said yes. They said who? She said Blackie. Exhibit. Uh, and they put an exhibit in there. Is this who you know to be Blackie? She said yes. Who is that? She said Blackie. And then where did you meet him at? She said basically in Chicago first, but then in Orlando, Florida, a month after the singer after she sung in the studio for R. Kelly. Okay, now how did you get to Orlando? She said Stephanie invited her to go to Orlando. Did you know who Stephanie would see? She said yes. She said who? She said R. Kelly. Did you speak to uh did you speak to anyone? She said yes. She said who? She said Blackie. Who was paying? They asked who was paying for the travel. And then she said, no, they asked her, did she pay for the travel? She said, no, ma'am. She said, well, how long in Florida did you stay? She said, maybe 2 days. They said, okay, then what happened? No one was wait. No one was there. Pretty much, we were by ourselves. They asked her to describe the area. She said there was lots of streets and homes. It looked like it was a rental. Okay. Now, never been there before to Florida. She ain't never been to Florida before. She said she never. Hold on. Wait. They arrived later in the afternoon. They asked her who picked her up. She said they got picked up, but they got picked up in separate rides. Y'all got to pay very close attention to this detail because this witness is a dirty, shady son of a nothing. And that's again my opinion. It does not reflect the facts of what you about to hear. Okay, now it was a separate ride. She said she rode in a white van. She didn't say who she rode with. She just said she rode in a white van. Okay. Now, she said they said what happened next. She said, well, we went to the mall. They said, well, how long? She said maybe about an hour or hour and a half. Then she said, well, who went with you? She said there were two other gentlemen and Blackie. Now, what happened next? She said, where after the studio did everyone go? She said, well, she went to sleep. And then she said it was kind of, they asked her to describe it. She said there was kind of like a kitchenette, a large couch, and she fell asleep. So she was in the building. They asked her what happened when she was in the building. She said she was awakened. She said, awakened by what? She said Stephanie was upset. Then there was a sidebar. Let me turn these notes over, y'all. There was a sidebar. Now, before break, you woke up by Stephanie. Yes, yes. Okay. What did she tell you? She said, R. Kelly, uh, wait. She said R. Kelly had her perform oral sex, and he ejaculated on her face. And she said, what state was she in? She said she was in an upset state of mind. Now, what if anything? She said, I remember she said, I remember going back home to Chicago. She said, you lived there, and she said, right. In the time, what did she tell you? And then there was an objection, and there was an overrule. She said, well, she mentioned she was wait. She was a bad wait. We were she said she was bad. She was a bad girl, and we were smoking cigars. Cigarettes, excuse me, cigarettes. We were not to smoke cigarettes, she said, because he had called her, she said he had her call him daddy. There was baby items in the home. She said there was baby items in the home. This was really quick though, I ain't gonna lie. There was baby items in the home, and she said she saw cameras around the house. And they asked her, when's the last time you spoke to Stephanie? That you saw Stephanie. She said 20 years ago. They said, when's the last time you spoke to Stephanie? She said 10 years ago. And they said, how did that conversation come about? She said, well, her grandmother had passed away. She asked her if she could sing at her grandmother's funeral. They asked her, did she sing at the funeral? She said no. Now, you testify you didn't see that. No, after she told you what she had explained happened, what did you do next? She said, I hugged my friend. This is CANNICK. Let me make sure this is CANNICK crossing her. Hold on, because I write his name when he go on. Okay, this is CANNICK. Now we on CANNICK. That was it. The prosecutors rested her case after they asked her the last time she seen her and the last time she spoke to her. And the conversation was her grandma passed away. She wanted her to sing at her grandmama's service. And they asked her, did she sing at the grandmama's service? She said no. Then the prosecutors rested their case. And then CANNICK came on. He said, so you testified that you didn't see what had happened after she told you what she explained happened. No, she didn't. Now, what did you do next? She said, I hugged my friend. He said, so she hugged. No, he said, so what did she do? She said, she hugged me back. He said, I'm not asking you about the state of mind. He said, did she remain in that room and how long? And then she said, maybe another 10 to 15 minutes. Now, taking back to the vacation house, go back to the vacation house. Did Stephanie see R. Kelly? She said no. Was she with him the next day? She said no. He said, what time did your flight leave? She said in the morning. Because she said, we took a flight and we got the hell out of there, is what she said. Now, what time did this occur? She said around 6 or 7 o'clock. Then she said she don't recall. He said, so you got to the studio what time? She said maybe 3 o'clock. Okay, did you have any idea how long? She said maybe 15 minutes before we left. Okay, so you auditioned for Mr. Kelly. He was unimpressed. R. Kelly was unimpressed. He was unimpressed. He said, he cannot help you, right? Shout out to Mechanic, y'all. Mechanic. Now, he said, he couldn't help you, right? You sung a different type of music, right? In fact, you sung a musical. She said, correct. Now, you knew R. Kelly was an R&B legend. Mechanic ain't no joke, y'all. I'm just saying, I gotta bring the impression with this because this is for real. He said, you knew he was an R&B legend. You thought he would be impressed with you singing a musical? She said, I did it. He said, but you sung it anyway. Pieces. Now, here's where it gets interesting in the answer to your question, Truth Media. Didn't you date Blackie? She said, no. Liar. Now, you hung out with Blackie. Well, we hung out with Blackie another time at the studio. Well, I can't recall the studio. No, in Chicago. Now, the first studio in Orlando, um, that wasn't the initial visit that you met him. Well, after seeing him in Chicago, did you see him in Orlando? Did you see him? Uh, Did you see Blackie 2 times? She said maybe 3. Mechanic got to get this mess up out of these fools. I'm telling you, he is. I don't know if I want to call him a surgeon because he is doing work on these people. I think mechanic is gonna be a surgical mechanic because I'm telling you, mechanic is doing some work on these people, man. Now, did you see him in a social gathering other than the 2 occasions? um, other than the 2 occasions, were you ever alone with Blackie? Judge, sidebar. What the hell is going on between the sheets in my home, baby? Wait, let me say before you start to point your cane. The judge about to have a fit. Oh, it's about to be some shit. Let mechanic do his job. Stop with the sidebars because I'm about sick and tired of the sidebars, and that's my personal opinion, okay? I'm just saying, man. Okay, so he comes back off of the sidebar. I have to rephrase the whole damn question. Now, when you interview with the government, back June 18, 2019, did you tell them you dated Blackie? Dated is a loose term. Dated is a loose term. Who is this idiot? Where'd she come from? I'm so glad she came and left because she was definitely a quickie. Get her out of here. Okay? We need longer than her. Oh, these hoes ain't loyal. Now, dating is a loose term. You testified when you were picked up, you was in a second car, correct? Well, Stephanie was in a two-seater, and you was in the car with Blackie. Was you? There was 2 other people with us. It wasn't just me and Blackie. The judge. Here's the judge jumping in again. I am all. He said. The judge said. He said, I am almost there, Your Honor. He said, I am almost there, Your Honor. Like, literally, he was almost there. Now, make sure this is the last page. Because she was quick. Do you recall how long Mr. Kelly and Stephanie dated? 4 or 5 months. Would 6 be okay? Sure. Yeah. You're the only one you saw. You said, okay, did you see Mr. Kelly? Did you say that Mr. Kelly bought her gifts? I don't remember. Let's get you refreshing. Let's get your memory refreshing. Read this upper portion here that's highlighted. It said, I don't remember a particular gift. You said he bought her gifts. Sure, yes. You told the government gifts were clothes. Did you see a dating? Did you say that this was a part of the dating process? Yes. Done. Prosecutor got something else to say? No further questions. Get her up out of here. She about to ruin the case. And that was the end of today's cross-examination. They're done with Catherine Lee. Haley Calhoun, a.k.a. Anna, will be back on Cross for tomorrow, you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will take a few of your questions in the comment. I'm not going to just jump off of here like I normally would. I want to spend a few minutes with you guys. Let's try to wrap this live up because I don't want to go into the 3-hour minute. I want people to be able to actually come and enjoy this live and get all the information that you guys can get from this. But I can answer anything that I can answer from what I recall in the courtroom and what I have here on my notes. Other than that, I've given you everything that's in my head, my eyes, what I seen, what I heard, and what I saw, okay? I do appreciate all 835 of you guys. We almost hit 1,000 viewers today in just this live alone. So shout out to everybody that's coming over here to Pieces of the Puzzle to get this live direct coverage from someone who is actually in the courtroom with her press credentials, with her press credentials, with her press credentials. Thank you for the opportunity that I have been given to get up in there, get this information, run it down, bring it to you guys firsthand, first knowledge. Again, I don't like begging, but do what you can. Hit that Cash App, hit that Zelle if you must. HollywoodNext@gmail.com is my Zelle. $ Hollywood Next is my Cash App. It will say Pieces of the Puzzle. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Don't want to keep you this long. So let's get up out of here with a song for our, yeah. I don't know if I'm connected to the internet or not. Let's see if I can get my song. It said I'm not. Oh Lord, I gotta get on the internet. Let me see. I'm surprised I hadn't connected mine yet. Okay, let's go right there. What y'all want to hear? I want to play something that ain't gonna give me no copyright. Did you get what I sent you? If you send me something, please wait for me to respond. Thank you in advance. God bless each and every one of you guys. I'm sure I got it. Just hadn't had a chance to check it. I've been too busy trying to bring this information to you guys. I love all of y'all. And I appreciate everything that you guys are doing from me from miles and miles away, from all across the world. Like I said, no matter if it's big or small, do what you can. Keep me here in New York so I can continue to be here for the duration. I want to see when it's all said and done, when the jury is deliberating and everything moving forward, you guys. I have to play a song that's not going to get me copywritten because I don't want no copyrights on this video. This is a great live. I hope all the information is brought to you guys with nothing but love, respect for each and every one of you guys. You guys are the best supporters, fans that R. Kelly can ever ask for. I appreciate all of you guys. Truth Media is in the building. Thank you so much. Angel H, thank you. Red Hot Beats Incorporated, Fats or Moran, P2 15J. Love lives here. Tiffany only please. Parker gang. My big mama, my godmother is in the building. Khadijah, Yvette, Joyce, Brian, Ruby Lucky, Lakeisha Littleton, Paula Taylor, travel the world. Roy, Cool MC, Jefferson, D Slade, Lady Magic, 247, Tara, Alright Solo, I'm loving me. AP Urbans, Mrs. T, Darlene Williams, Felicia Fee, Kimberly Nicole, Rashida White, Ready Red, Mrs. Dunkins, Dennis Jones, Sally Girl, Truth Media for show, Brina B, Darlene Williams, Monet, Jackie King, Princess D, Verlisa Tyner, oh my God, all you guys, Coretta Jones, Sincerely Me Bree, Mrs. CC, Posture D, Charles Hubbard, Carolyn Walker, Zola, So Wisely, My Faith, Sandra, Kiana Channel, oh my God, everybody, Marvette, Trigger, my nigga, everybody, shout out to all y'all. And even if my auntie ain't in the building, shout out to Auntie Drea, because she always in this thing. Rather she catch it now, she catch it later. Shout out to everybody. Level Up or Now or Never, Candy's World, Corey Simmons, Smith, Larry Cox, Lakeisha Littleton, Olga, Franklin, Alizar, Ben Israel, Latanya Ferguson, Renee Mack, Goddess K, I think I said Ruby Lucky, Monet, and Sandy Deer, and everybody else that's coming in the chat. God bless you all. My day one, Sheila Ragland, Yaya, a.k.a. Yay Yay, and all of you guys. Much love to everybody. And before I go, I must let you know, dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever doesn't love does not know God, because what? God is love. Now put those pieces in the chat. I will be back with more pieces to the puzzle on the next one. And remember, this is not the way it's supposed to be. Hollywood team, next, sexy pieces, and all that is in the building. And much love to each and every one of you guys. God bless. Salute right here from live and direct New York City. We'll be reporting from the courthouse. See you guys on the next one, which is tomorrow, lunchtime special. I love, love, love you guys. Thank you for all your support and all you guys do to keep the channel moving. God bless. It's not supposed to be green, like faith's not supposed to be seen. The sky's not supposed to touch the ground, and I swear it's not supposed to be round. The moon's not supposed to touch the sun, and a two is not supposed to be a one. Said the heart's not supposed to weigh a ton, and forever's not supposed to be done. Winter's not supposed to come in June, and I am not supposed to have the blues. There are so many things that are not supposed to be, except you and me. There are so many things that I'm not supposed to be. Ooh, baby, yeah, except you and me. Night's not supposed to be long. Yeah. No one is supposed to be alone. Understanding is not supposed to be confused. And the wind is not supposed to lose. Like fire's not supposed to freeze. Like joy is not supposed to breathe. Like you are not supposed to leave. What I said I'm not supposed to mean. He is not supposed to have your heart. Baby, we are not supposed to be apart. There are so many things that are not supposed to be said. You and me. There are so many things that are not supposed to be. Hey, baby. It seems just like no seasons changing on this earth with no creation, a heart with no feelings, or a sickness without healing. Just like a frozen spring, or a bird with no wings. Just like a song out of key. That's how my life would be. Like the night skies with no stars, a lonely broken heart, no holding hand walks in the park. That's how it would be if we were apart. Ooh. There are so many things, yeah, except love. So many things that are not supposed to be. It's like having nowhere to be. Like having nowhere to breathe. Like having no rain for the sea. There are so many things that's not supposed to be. Not supposed to be. Except you and me. Yes! Free R. Kelly! Woo! That's all we over here yelling in pieces. Yeah! Just you and